beneficent, the merciful, the one true and living God who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And we forever thank him for blessing us with our beloved leader and teacher, the most honorable and humble messenger Elijah Muhammad, the exalted and risen Christ. And we could never thank the two of them enough for giving to us a man that is more valuable than gold and silver. We could never thank the two of them enough for giving to us a man that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he prayed for, that would be a helper to him in his work. And we could never thank them enough for a man today who represents in his person the manifestation of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in our midst. Yes, sir. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan. In their names, I greet you. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, it is a great joy to be before you once again. But it is more a great joy to introduce to you a man that is with us this afternoon. As I stand in this auditorium, I have to think about the few short hours ago that we were here. Yes, it was a magnificent showing of black men. It was a tremendous example of the vision of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Wall-to-wall love, wall-to-wall black men. On a Saturday night in Harlem, no pistols. As the song said, check your razor, check your gun at the door. No guns, no ill will toward one another. Love and unity. Black men in a society where black men are killing each other. We did that last night. But this afternoon, it's even sweeter. Because not only do we have black men, but we have black women. And when you see love being generated in black men toward black men, and love being generated in black women toward black women, we are witnessing the completion of the mission of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that is to make us see the value in each other. We saw that last night in a great message by the Assistant Supreme Captain of the Nation of Islam, Brother Assistant Supreme Captain Mustafa Farrakhan. Not only a son of the leader in the physical and biological sense, but a son in the spiritual sense. We don't know whether his love is greater for his father in the realm of biology, in the realm of being a physical son, or being a spiritual son. We saw both attributes last night. And so we're blessed, New York. This has been a tremendous weekend for the brothers. And now the sisters have the opportunity to benefit from what is being presented to us this weekend. But before we bring our brother on, we want you to know something about him. We are blessed in the Nation of Islam to have many giants in many different areas of this world. We have great captains, military men, that have the job of training and manifesting, helping to manifest male potential from the black man. We have sister champions that have the awesome responsibility of grabbing the black woman and taking the mind that the white man has placed in her and helping to place God's mind in her so that she no longer reflects the white man's world but reflects God's world. Yes, we have great ministers, spokespersons, those who will articulate the message and represent the messenger to the people. You know many of them. We have right up in Boston our East Coast Regional Minister, Minister Don Muhammad. He's a program man. He loves to push the program. He loves to keep us focused on the mission of building a physical manifestation of the reality of the Word. We have Brother Abdul Akbar Muhammad. When you see Brother Akbar, you know to expect a lecture that will give a detailed explanation of the history of the nation, of the history of the prophets, of the history of Islam in America, and of the history of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Go ahead. We have another brother, and when you see him, you see the sword of Allah, because he talks about slaying the enemy. He talks about defeating the enemy. He talks about establishing a straight path in the wilderness for God's man. Brother Khalid Muhammad. Is that right or wrong? Talk to me, New York. This is a beautiful day. This is a great day, because we have an angel with us. Not that I have called him that, because I don't have the authority to do that, nor the knowledge. I'm just following what I read in the book. You must remember, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Muhammad ibn Abdullah of 1400 years ago. Peace and blessings be upon him. He is the messenger of Allah because he received the word and the inspiration of the Quran from Allah. But did Allah speak to him directly? Or did Allah send someone? Yes, sir. Go ahead. What was the name of the one he sent? His name was Jabril. But you don't say that Muhammad is the messenger of Jabril. You say Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. You don't give glory or praise and honor to Jabril, because praise belongs to Allah. The credit goes to Allah, but he used Jabril as a vessel, as a transmitter to reach the one he was looking for. And if we understand the history of the Quran, we cannot deny this brother's role in absolutely taking to our leader and teacher the word and the inspiration that inspired him to see that his mission was not up, but his mission was just beginning. That was 1977. It is now 1993. And like Prophet Muhammad of Islam, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has gone out into the world to establish the faith and establish the mantle of Islam. We are in that mission today. But what kind of followers are we if we are not knowledgeable of our history? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that of all subjects, history is most qualified and attractive to reward our research. What kind of followers are we who stand today at this pinnacle and we don't remember the foundation upon which we stand? This brother that I will present to you, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan says, has value to him. Great value. And in fact, I have heard him say from his mouth that it is interesting to him what this brother has to say about his identity. He encouraged us as ministers to study what the brother writes, to read what the brother writes, because there's something in what brother sees about our leader that takes him out of the realm of some ordinary Negro leader. You're not dealing with some cheap, lightweight political leader when you deal with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. You're not dealing with the equivalent of some politician or some spiritual leader that has jumped up to say he's prophet this and prophet that, or he is this and that. He doesn't have to say what he is. He's doing the work. And if you study his work, you know him. If you study the scripture, you can see who Farrakhan is. Is he making the blind man see? I bear witness, I was blind. But by the help of Allah and his messenger, now I see. I was deaf. I could not hear the white man's lies and decipher the lie from the truth. But now, God has blessed me to do that. Is he making the deaf hear? I had withered hands. I could not do for myself. I didn't know that I had the power to do for myself. But are we doing it today by Allah's grace and grace? We were dead. Were we dead? I know I was. I don't know about you. Maybe you didn't smoke weed. Maybe you didn't drink. Maybe you didn't chase women or chase men. Maybe you were a saint. But I'd rather doubt it. We were dead, but now we're alive. Is that right? Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. So I want to present to you a man that we should all study. You see before me books. You say, that's unusual. I've never seen that at the mosque before. But in truth, brothers and sisters, if we are to be successful, we must study the theology that we believe in. And we must get a firm grip on it so that we can defend this truth to the end of the earth. Faith is enough. Faith is that which allows us not to be changed or prevents us from being, I would say, shaken. But we got to grow up beyond that. We got to grow from faith into knowledge. Knowledge is absolute. This brother will take us further into knowledge. This brother will help us further to see. So will you put your eyes on him? Yes, sir. Will you open your ears to him? Yes, sir. And let us be convinced as we leave here today to be the most knowledgeable mosque in the nation, where the identity of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is concerned. And if we establish that, we will establish through our faith the greatest works in the nation of Islam. But it takes faith to produce works. Show me a man with faith, and I'll show you a man with works. Please join me in welcoming to the rostrum our brother, our minister, our friend, Brother Minister Jabril Muhammad from Phoenix, Arizona.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but He, and Muhammad is His messenger. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to get right down to the purpose for which we're here. I think the best way is simply to announce what the subject is. After I do that, I'll make a few preliminary comments that come to my mind, and then try to proceed through this material as rapidly as we can. You look beautiful.
Thank you, sir. So do you, sir.
You look very beautiful. You know, before I think I make this comment up first, I'm very honored to be here, and I would like to tell you why I feel honored to be here. If you knew thoroughly who you are right now, from the viewpoint of the Supreme Being, each one of us would be saying, we're very happy and honored to be here. Because the brother or sister sitting next to you or behind you or in front of you is a direct descendant of God Himself. That automatically makes each one of us brothers and sisters by reason of the fact that we're born. We did not determine our nature. We had nothing to do with that. I don't remember the day I was born. In the same hospital the Honorable Louis Farrakhan was born about 3 years after him, any more than you do. We know that we were born because we're here. And we've seen other people born, and we have some idea or knowledge of what that process is. But we did not determine our nature, nor did we, any of us, determine the raw talent that we're born with. None of us determine our genetic makeup. It had nothing to do with that. We have a great deal to do with later on in life, whether we do this or that or make this or that choice. But in terms of birth, that's something that is bestowed on us from a higher power.
Yes, sir.
And I don't mean just our parents. I mean this God himself.
Yes, sir.
Now, sometimes you hear, and it was put on a handbill a few weeks ago when I was blessed to be in Baltimore, Maryland. I was referred to as a brother and friend and witness of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, which is, for me, a very great honor. Well, brother and sister, I've just explained what that means in a word, though there's much more to understand about that, because each of you know that you had a mother and a father. Some of us were blessed to see our grandparents, and maybe a few rare cases, our great-grandparents. Probably none of us our great-great-grandparents. And I'm sure none of us our great-great-great-great-grandparents.
Yes, sir.
But we know we had some.
Right.
So how does that fact at the same time justify anyone in saying that we are also from God himself? I'm not going to go very deep into that except just to say the same way that Jesus is represented in the Bible, he's referred to as a person who was from, and finally they say who was from Adam, who was from God. In fact, about it, Adam is referred to as the Son of God. We know that all those other people who were the sons of or daughters of were the sons and daughters of a male and a female. But when it comes to Adam, Luke does not tell us how God produced Adam. Was a woman involved? Big subject.
Yes, sir.
We may or may not touch that. I have a specific thing I want to do today, and I want everything else to subserve or serve that specific purpose. But that's an important question, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You are the son or daughter of your mother and father, and yet the son and the daughter of God himself.
Yes, sir.
If that's true, and it is, then that means that you, sister, and you, brother, have the same nature that God has. Your genetic pool, I'm talking about the good genes, it's from him. That's something to think about. So we say brother and sister, and then we say and friend. If we knew who we were thoroughly, we would really have to use the word friend, would we? Because brothers and sisters growing up in the same home under quote-unquote normal circumstances, I got to say that heavy quote because ain't nothing normal about what's going on in America. In fact, abnormal is normal. But under ideal circumstances, brothers and sisters from the same mother and father, or even if there's a few children adopted, they grow up and they automatically love one another. Just by reason of coming up seeing each other. There's no problem with that. Unless something weird takes place. Right?
Yes, sir.
But we say, and friend. And the Holy Quran says that the believers are the friends of one another. Not the disbelievers, but the believers. If this world had no devil in it, if nobody had ever mistreated anybody else, if everyone had followed the golden rule that automatically everyone would be friends and or brothers and sisters by one another.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You wouldn't have to teach people to be friends with one another. They would instinctively or partly automatically follow the golden rule by one another. What you want for your brother and sister, that's what you want for yourself. But we have been made ignorant to who we are as a people. And that means we've been made ignorant to S-E-L-F. That word means nature. So if I'm ignorant of my nature, I'm ignorant of your nature. And if I'm ignorant of my nature, then I will take cocaine. I will drink whiskey. I will drink beer. Not because beer tastes good. Beer tastes bad. Whiskey tastes bad. We all know cocaine is no good for us. Huh? It gets old. I don't care how it is. When you start, after a certain amount of time passes, it gets what we call old. Right? Stealing is bad. Raping one another is bad. In general, just doing wrong by each other, we know is bad enough. Any of us want to be mistreated. Yet we are in a world filled with the stomping of the golden rule. A world in which hate is the rule. Do you know that white people have only begun to study scientifically love in the last 10 to 15 years in this country? And yet they said God is what? God. Which means if you don't know what love is, you don't know who God is. And the country is filled every Sunday. God is, and God was, and God loves. Teach, sir. God, 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 Jesus, Jesus, Holy Ghost, Mary, the mother of God. Blessed are you among women. All of that kind of talk. Nevertheless, we're in a world where social workers cannot solve social problems. They just continuously work on the problem, of which they themselves are a part. The educational system is no damn good. That's right. No one is really educated. That's right. You learn certain things to do. But if we treat each other as dogs, so to speak, or even worse than dogs, then we're not truly educated. People learn great things in technology and great this and great that, yet treat each other worse than animals treat one another. That's right. And the word education, I think it means something like bringing out of developing. That's right. My dear brothers and sisters, brother made a very important point. I'm saying all this by way of a few preliminaries. Even if you, in your mind, committed no sin in your life, you are Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. Never did a wrong at all, ever. Drank nothing but milk and water. Never looked at the sister. Never, as Jimmy Carter said, lusted in your heart. If you don't know who you are, you're dead. You're a so-called good dead man and woman, which is ridiculous and a contradiction in terms, isn't it? Brothers and sisters, my subject, by the help of Allah, is the title of the 4th section of this book. If you have read this book in the past, you haven't read it now. It was approximately little over 58,000 words in the book in the past. I've reprinted that same material, except for just a few minor corrections here and there. But the rest of the book is an additional chapter. That chapter, the 4-page introduction, and the small acknowledgement page and a little appendix in the back which explains the cover, past and present, represents an additional 68,400 and some odd words. Okay? So if you've read the past book, then read the first 4 pages so that you know why I put this out again. Then skip over to chapter 10. Read. Then read the appendix and the acknowledgments if you want. Okay? And then you will, if I could have afforded to give it away, I would. But there's no printer in America or on earth that would print it for nothing. Okay? Nobody would make the cover for nothing. Even the brothers and sisters who helped me had to have some money. Isn't that interesting? Money. something that we all have to have, something God himself promised us. And brothers and sisters, I would say this to you, before I give you the title of this short talk. Don't, well, I put it this way, I hope that when you leave here, to whatever extent you already have confidence in yourself and in the truth that we have been blessed with, and in the integrity of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, I hope to move it at least 1/2 a notch more than what it is right now before you came in. That's what we're here about. I'm here to bear witness to my brother.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes, sir.
I'm the kind of a man who's fixed up where I really don't, pardon the expression, give a damn what people think about me in general. I'm just not fixed to get to care one way or the other. It makes no difference to me. If you never knew me, if I could have gotten everybody to sell the book and make food to and stayed in the desert, I would do that. But you know how we are. Well, let me see what he looks like. Maybe I'll buy it. I might go there and make a talk. I don't think I want to buy it. Please. Please. Well, we'll get past that down the road. As we grow into our mutual identity, as we grow into our own divinity, then we'll see things more like they really are. You know, the Bible said, the Holy Quran probably says that when the pastors woke up, they said, "We believe in the God of Aaron and Moses." A little later on, when they grew a little more, they didn't lose their respect for Aaron, but they saw Aaron and Moses in perspective. And they said, "We believe in the God of Moses and Aaron." We put that the way it should be put. Okay? So now, at this stage of our development, I don't know about all of you. I don't know what you know. You look like you're very smart. All of you. You do. You know, Yusuf Shah, who just died recently, a very wonderful black man, used to tell us in FOI, it's better. In fact, let me go this way. Let's say this one more point, then get down to business. I came to the Nation of Islam in this city. I first heard the teachings in '54 and went through the registration process. My handwriting was atrocious. It took me 6 months to get registered. It was January 1955. But I was reminded of, taught a lesson by Malcolm, which I want to share with you. And then reminded of that lesson later on by Yusuf Shah in the FOI class. About my second or third meeting, I came 4 straight Sundays in July '54. About the second or third meeting, we were all to meet with Malcolm, I forget what day in the week, to go down to the Museum of Natural History to see something that they may or may not still have there, but if they have it, last time I was there, they have rearranged it. At that time, when you went to the Museum of Natural History, you could see clearly from how the animals were arranged, how the rat, cat, and dog were combined to make the pig. They have mixed it all up since that time. And they used to have cave white folks. You know, you never have seen a cave man who was black, or a cave woman black, cave black baby. You don't see that. But they had, I don't know if they still got the cave fellas down there or not. Anyway, I went. First thing I learned was Malcolm told us to be on time. At the appointed spot, I was among those. I was brand new now, just about 2 or 3 meetings into this. My mind was blown. At that time, I thought, wow, I felt like I was one of the last people on earth to hear this. It was one of those funny feelings. I didn't know you still had many more years to go. Not that time.
That's right.
And we got on the bus, and there was a few people coming up late, and Malcolm told the driver, pull out. And I saw that. And that struck me, because I'm not used to black folks being on time about anything. In fact, the style was to be late, to look good. But I saw the bus pull off, and these people couldn't make it. I saw the disappointed look, and that drove a lesson home with me about time. We got down to the museum and went around here and there, and finally got to the cave thing. And I remembered some stuff I had read in some book. And Malcolm was talking, and I busted in. And he's running this thing. But I was knocked out over when I was looking at it. And I hadn't heard that part of the teaching yet, that the white folks were in the cave. They just got out 4,000 years ago. They just went in 2,000 years before that. I didn't know that. I hadn't gotten that far. Only had made 2 meetings. And Malcolm was telling us, and I busted in, and I was knocked out over what I was looking at. Wow, look at this. And some of the things he was saying, and I started talking about 70 and 80,000 years ago. And all the eyes, there were 8 Muslims that day, I counted. Not counting myself, and not counting Malcolm. 82 eyes looked at me. And Malcolm, as you know how he sounds, heard him on TV or whatever, with a rather loud voice, louder than I'm speaking now, said, if you don't know what you're talking about, keep your mouth shut. Needless to say, I was highly embarrassed. I felt smaller than small. But it taught me another lesson. Qualify your mouth to speak. And later on, Yusuf Shah taught us in that while making a point about study. He made a point. I don't know where he got it from, but I got it from him. It's better to keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. It's a good lesson. Now, I don't know everything. I am not God. I am not the wisest brother in the nation of Islam. I know a few things very well. And the main thing that I know that's important to other people to know is who the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is. There's several other things I don't know. And some other things I know is not worth talking about. But this man I know. I don't know everything there is to know about him. But we've been knowing each other personally since 1955. Some people know each other a so-called lifetime, and yet don't really know the other person. Now look, there's the physical sense. We have a body. You can shoot it, stab it, you can feed it, exercise it, not exercise it. It's physical, right? We have a mind. We can think. It sits in our brain. It runs throughout our nervous system. It makes us move. Huh? We say a mind. I don't want to get into technical terminology. It's not worth it. The point is, this is the thing we think with. We see by means of it, and these things called eyes over here, by it, and this thing called ears and smell, etc. Right? We receive information. We go to school and learn botany. We learn surgery, how to cut open people and pull out stuff that's no good, or stuff that is good to make money. We learn how to work on somebody's teeth. We learn how to build structures like this. Huh? Now, wicked people can do all those things. All the things that people do, there's many things that people do, where we serve one another throughout this country and the earth, does not require the knowledge of God, does it? You don't have to know God to make a white shirt, do you? Do you? You don't have to know God to know how to make eyeglasses. You can be as wicked as the worst person walking the planet, and mind go out the ground, or write a book, or make a microphone. You see my point? But now, to really see reality, the higher and highest realms of reality, requires the development of another part of ourselves that is the most difficult part of human beings to develop. And that's what's called our spiritual side. Now, what is that? The Holy Quran says that the soul, in words, the God is saying, I have given you but little knowledge. We don't know what the soul is. People are confused now about what it is. Some of us think that when we die and they bury us, there's a part called the soul that will keep on going, even though the Bible says the soul that sinneth shall die. And 8 souls were saved from the flood. Right? And David said in the Psalms, when you go down in the grave, you won't be able to praise God anymore. and nobody living wants to die except you have lost your balance.
That's right. That's right.
Hmm? You go to the edge of the roof, life is so bad you say, I want to jump. Why do you holler then? You change your mind on the way down. See my point? When you and I are just real depressed, a lot of us stay depressed. Some of us love depression because it's a way of getting attention. How do you feel, brother? How do you feel, sister? I feel bad. Call you the next day, how do you feel? I feel worse. Call you the next day, how do you feel? Never felt worse in my life. It's worse. Just wallowing. You hardly have time. You, brothers and sisters, in this big city of New York, where you got to convert 3 million black people for the cause of truth, you can't even afford maybe 15 minutes a week. Depression, that's about all. Maybe 10 minutes. You got too much work to do. When you're feeling bad, you tell somebody. Don't you? When you're feeling good, you tell somebody. When something bad happens to you, you tell your friend. Something good happens to you, you tell your friends. What does that say? You can't live by yourself. You can't live totally me, myself, alone. It don't work that way. We are put here to interact with other people, and there's no way to live this life independent of other people. Even God is a social being. God is social. That's the root of our being social. God likes to interact with others. That's why we're like that. Even if it's on a jive level. Follow me? Yes, sir. And my subject is this. It is based on the words of the Honorable Muhammad. Let me give you the whole word. Let me take the piece out that we're going to deal with this afternoon. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, told many of us. But I'm speaking now of the time he told him. He told him the nation of Islam was going to fall. But don't worry, brother. It'll rise. Never to fall again. He told several of us he was going to leave us. Followers would go down to nothing. Started that, the first time I heard it was 1961. Several things he said about the future. He talked about even after what would happen. After, he took us all the way to the end of this thing, how this world would end. We're not talking on that right now. What do you mean, never? Never sounds like forever. Never sounds like ever, does it? If you say it's never to fall again, won't fall again, the implication obviously is that there's nothing else that will ever stop it from rising. It'll rise and keep on rising. The statement indicates that the speaker doesn't see anything ever able to stop the forward motion of this that he calls the Nation of Islam. He said it would fall. All of you know something about the fall. You know at root, ignorance and hypocrisy was at the root of our fall. We know that. Does not this imply then that the opposite of ignorance, which is knowledge, and the opposite of hypocrisy, which is sincerity, would predominate? Now, I'm a witness that the Nation of Islam rose not on me. I don't represent the rise of the nation, though I was used to get to the man. But his rise, September 1977, represented in his person the rise of the Nation of Islam. And in this book, I refer to him as an irresistible force. I don't exaggerate my brothers. I don't do that. I'm not spooky about it. Some of y'all may be. Nothing wrong with that. That's a stage in development. I was once very spooky about Elijah Muhammad. Very spooky. But why? The man was so extraordinary. Let me give a superficial example. Brother, you may have played baseball. You know what baseball is. You know what that is. If you see the quarterback, he fades back behind his own goal line and throws the ball. And it goes right out of the stadium. People are shocked. He said, oh, it slipped. You say, what an arm. That's unreal. If you see a baseball player hit a ball, they say went 900 feet. That's so unusual that it makes the newspaper. It might make the front page. Or at least somewhere on the front page. Anything that is done by anybody. If somebody comes up and runs a 100 yards in 7 seconds, that's unusual. Nobody else does that. That's not just a tenth of a second. That's a whole 2 seconds off. People practically worship Michael Jordan. He's only throwing a ball through a hoop, but he does it so unusual. We all have voices, but some of us sound better than others. And we applaud that one, don't we? We're human beings. We all share a whole bunch alike. But any of us that do anything that's outstanding, if we're not envious and jealous, we applaud that person. We applaud that same quality in ourselves, but we applaud you or you because you are demonstrating something of us to an extent that we marvel and we applaud and we're happy over it. And he shows me the ropes and takes me through some changes and helps me to see how to deal better. At least where I can feel more comfortable with him as a brother. I feel more comfortable. I still can't blow like he can blow, but I feel more comfortable with myself in the presence of my brother who's heavier than myself in this area. Do you see what I'm driving at?
Yes, sir.
Now here you got a man, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Just exactly who is the brother? He's a black man. You see that. He was born up in the Bronx, moved to Boston. You know his general history. You know you can find out in a couple of minutes. He was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's representative in Boston and then in New York City, and then made national spokesman. And then the Nation of Islam went down, and he went down with it. And then he got up, and he's dealing very heavy. One of the first things that strikes all of us about him is his courage. He speaks to opponents tactfully, intelligently, forcefully, with great intelligence, but with no compromise. That includes the government of the United States. We who are loving, we can't really protect it. Because if the white man wanted to drop a bomb on the palace, he could do it. Were it not for God and His Christ. The white man could drive by here and blow the hell out of this building, right, and kill us all. Were it not for God. You say, well, white folks don't think like that. Then you really need to come back here and learn about this. I don't have a watch on. I don't see a clock. But I'm going to say what I got to say. Okay? I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to do, for example, as I told the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in May 1971 in Phoenix, Arizona. I waited till everyone else was away from the table. I would never leave the table until he dismissed me. Anything he wanted to say, I wanted to get it. I'm that way with my brother right now, unless it's necessary that I got to do something. I waited this particular day because I wanted to say something to him. I knew Allah was present. Of course, the angels always watch over him. But I was saying this because this is a man I appreciate. I'm in love with him, but I appreciate it. It's an aspect of love, okay? Yes, sir. And I said to him, the Holy Apostle, I just want to say this to you, that I'm grateful to Allah for blessing me to be alive in your time. And I said, I'm so thankful to have been born black, to be born in this country, and to be one of your fathers. And I said, I want you to know that I don't know everything about you. There's many things I don't know, and I don't know as much about you as many of those in Chicago, which include his family members. Little things about him I never know. Still don't know. I said, but I know on the other hand, I know you better than untold millions of people. And I know that I was not put in this position to show off or act big. But I was put in this position by God to learn all I can from you and about you to pass it on to others. Now listen, that's me talking to him. I didn't have to tell you that, he wasn't there. But I'm only telling you that to say this. My knowledge of this man as it grew helped me to see my brother. Your position and perspective, if you're new to Islam, is a little different. It's got to be different. But I'm telling you, you can't learn to see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad unless you can see the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. So I'm blessed to have a chance to know both men, as some others of you do. But why know this? What's the value of knowing it if you're not going to tell somebody? Now, why should you know it? The nitty-gritty, absolute, ultimate reason is that you might have life, and that more abundantly. Knowing that Honorable Louis Farrakhan will get you many things. The main thing, though, it produces, it's a key, absolute root key in developing the spiritual life. The Bible has a statement somewhere in John. Jesus talking to his followers and to others. You search the scriptures, for in them you think you can what? Find life. The key to life, you think, is in these books. Now, there was no New Testament at that time. Your New Testament, we say, we know, is writings of the followers of Jesus. They're writing about the man. They say, follow Jesus. Isn't that what they say?
Yes, sir.
The Old Testament, we commonly call it that, is what the Jesus was referring to. He told the people, we're told that he told the people 2,000 years ago, you all search these books, this book, all these books of the prophets. Because in them you think you're going to find or have life. But these books are they which testify of me.
Yes, sir.
This is it now. I'm saying to you, the Bible and the Holy Quran, notwithstanding the prospects that either through this tape or they may be sitting in this room, Orthodox Muslims, they may be followers of Imam Muhammad, whatever your persuasion may be, our position was and is that these books, in terms of the most important people you got to know, to see the hereafter, to know, to avert the chastisement of God, and more important than either one of those, for its own sake, to know the truth for the sake of knowing the truth. Since truth is your birthright, you have to know Master Farah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. But situation is such where you can only really know them now in reverse order.
Come on. Listen.
When Master Farah Muhammad came, he only revealed himself to one man.
That's right.
I know there are others who claim to the contrary, but they can't prove it. They may be able, and they do, pump themselves up in the eyes of the ignorant. And they're not putting people down who are ignorant. Because before we know we're ignorant, a small baby is ignorant, right? If you don't know, you don't know. But you can't stay that way forever. So there are many brothers out here who used to claim, I know as much as Elijah. He don't know any more than I was in the class right along with him in the 30s. But what they didn't know is that privately, Master Farah Muhammad was interacting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad out of their sight and hearing in a way that he didn't deal with them. Master Farah Muhammad knew who the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was before he got here. He was in and out of America for 20 years. I was told by some of the older believers that he saw him. I don't know whether in the spirit or physically, I don't know. 6 years before they actually met, in 1931. He worked and did what he did.
Tell it, brother.
Maneuvered and moved about, said and did what he did to put Elijah Muhammad in the position so that when they met in September 1931, Elijah Muhammad would recognize the man who had come for him. There wasn't no just two men meeting in the building. Oh, I know you. No, it wasn't like that. You're dealing on a much heavier level. I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that he had to give Master Farah Muhammad the credit for revealing himself to him. He came to his own, and his own knew him not. But as many as received him became what? The sons and daughters of God. Now, wait a minute. That needs to be understood on more than one level. In the one sense he came, he raised the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who then worked for 40 years among us. Certainly in that respect, as we begin to grow into this knowledge, we began to be sons and daughters of God, but we all blew it in 1975.
That's right.
Millions of them.
That's right.
When the Nation of Islam went down, black folks didn't have no choice but to go down.
That's right.
Although many of us said, man, I'm coming to that meeting, I'll be there. Didn't show up. But they keyed off the Muslims. And when the nation went down, the black folks were at all some great loss. Right? I want you to get this real clear. Now the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is working in the name of his teacher. Lifting up his name and working in his name, which means working in his character. Okay? And now we have this opportunity to really become sons and daughters forever. And our children and our children's children's children. Now what's the root of this? What do you mean never to form again? How do you mean never? America is still here and she's big and powerful. The Nation of Islam, the people who make it up, which of course in one sense is all about people, but in the narrower sense, those who are following the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, they're struggling heavily, Paul. Huh? We talk to people, they sometimes buy our paper, sometimes don't. It's a daily struggle. Not only to live our lives and help one another and help ourselves, but also it's a struggle to get the word to our people. It's easier now than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, but it's still difficult. Are you following me? A few more points on this, but look at this now.
Take your time, brother.
Since you see America is not destroyed, she seems like a huge obstacle or monstrous mountain that we can't get around. White folks got the guns, we don't. They got the money, we don't. Right?
Yes, sir.
They control international trade, we don't. And I have learned that the only thing we got going on economic level in New York City is on 25th Street, and they're trying to destroy that. Which if the brothers and sisters could keep their businesses going, eventually they could save up enough money, maybe buy out those people or get another location or something.
Yes,
Why not buy the block? You say they wouldn't sell. Everybody, they'll sell. If you offer them $1 billion, they sell it, doesn't it? Another thing. I'm not getting into that. I don't know the situation like you do, but my point simply is, we don't have anything. I asked the brothers who drove me over here from Newark, I said, brothers, do we own anything since our last year as a people? They said, no. One or two people may have a few apartment buildings, but we don't own nothing. Isn't that a fact?
Yes, sir.
How many black folks are there in New York City? Around how many? How many is that? That's a whole bunch of people. 3 million of us. And we don't own nothing. We control nothing. And we have to back off many of us, but there are some super brilliant minds in New York City. New York City has always been known as the place where the most conscious black people are, but we got nothing. So there's something wrong with this consciousness. The thing that's missing in the consciousness is the hook in to God. Really, through the local representative, deeply as it should be, but all into who? God himself. I hope that these next few words are paid attention to, real carefully. You know, white folks oftentimes, or more often than not, see certain spiritual realities faster than we do. Do you remember how the devils could see Jesus faster than the people? Now, think about that. We're talking about spiritual development. And the more spiritually developed we are, the quicker or the easier it is for us to apprehend or grasp other spiritual realities. Have you ever noticed how if two people are talking and if I use the wrong words or mess up the language, you get into my spirit, you say, brother, I know what you mean. Huh? Because if the words weren't adequate, but you got into my spirit, you understood me. You know how we say to one another, we try to talk something over, you say, you know, yeah. That's it. You got it. What happened there? You got to go bring up the spirit. Well, now, what are we talking about? What about Satan? Does Satan get into the spirit of Jesus and understand him? Here's what we're getting at. All praise is due to Allah. The devils knew the word of God and the time of the arrival of the Messiah. The people were walking in darkness, talking about us. Others walked in darkness, but their darkness is a sign of ours. People walking in darkness have seen a great light. People dwelling in the land of the shadow of death, upon them has the light shine. But here's Satan. Adam and Eve messed up. And as a consequence, they came to see that which before they did not see. But you don't never read where the serpent was ever in darkness, do you? And when God came walking in the garden, Satan already knew what was happening. And when God jammed up Adam and Eve, they felt bad about that. But Satan didn't say nothing. Remember how Adam gave up all kinds of juice? He put it on the woman. She put it on the serpent. The serpent, he was back against the wall. He didn't say nothing. Right? Guilty as charged. You see that point? Now look, I'm saying to you, there are white folks all over America who know what's happening in every city. There are some of them that hate it and want to kill us. But there are others of them, such as the Shriners and others, some Jews, some other white folks. They know what's happening. I mean, they look at you and they know what's happening. As soon as you hear this teaching, you come to the job the next day, they know. What is this? Charles Hayes Russell, white man, from his study of Bible, knew and wrote in at least one book that 40 years from now is going to come a war involving the European powers. It will mark the end of the world. He knew 40 years in advance based on this book. Now, how did that happen?
Good question.
He got up into what? He got up into the spirit of the writers. Did you hear what I just said? He got up into who? The spirit. And who wrote it? Men lesser than God. They wrote as God moved them to write. This man studied the Bible and got all up into their mind to a certain degree. Not everything, but at least enough to write what he wrote. Judge Rutherford, second president of the Jehovah's Witnesses, 1931, met Master Farad Muhammad. And then their organization is, from that time on, was called and is called Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses don't even know that their second president met and bowed to Master Farad Muhammad.
That's right.
Wise enough to know and humble enough to bow. Now, a man can't say he or she is spiritually developed or developing if you are at the same time proud and growing in false pride daily. False pride blocks that kind of vision. Humility. Humility. One of the most important qualities human beings have to have. We have to have help in getting born, and somebody has to bury us. How dare we be proud? The Bible says, after pride comes what? A fall. Humility before what? Honor. Very important principle, isn't it? Well, how was it? And there were some Jews in the 30s, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was running for his life, at the same time going through a special training period in his life. He met some Jews in Washington, D.C. Though he had no mighty works to show, he had no followers that were all that visible, scattered here and there. a man only able to spend 2 weeks at a time in these cities for 7 long years. Yet they were Jews sufficiently perceptive from their study of their own Torah, who recognized him. Recognized, knew who he was at that time. What is that telling us? What does that tell us? My dear brothers and sisters, there are some people you have seen in this city who look like bums, but their eyes give themselves away. They look like bums, look like they're out of it. But their eyes, they can't conceal the intelligence that you see in their eyes. Some of these people are studying. They're just pretending. I want you all to wake up. I don't want nobody sleeping on this. No, wake up. Don't get in trouble. But I want you to hear this. If you already know it, fine. It's a review. If you don't know it, then you need to know it because it means your life. I say to you straight up, those of our people who reject the Honorable Louis Farrakhan have accepted for their own self the unpardonable sin. They have committed a sin. Hear me out carefully.
Go ahead.
I want to explain that before I leave. Clearly as I know how to. But to say I don't lay a thing, I ain't gonna follow that thing. You know better than me. You're getting involved in the unpardonable sin.
Right.
You are headed for the chastisement of God. You're headed for the worst condition a human being can be in just before death. And it's worse than death. Because death, you don't feel nothing. You're out of it. It's like when we went to sleep last night. If it was an hour or 8 hours, what did we know about that? Especially if you didn't dream about nothing. You just boom, boom, right? Now look, I want you to hear me all the way up. Don't get no rocks in your jaw. Nobody. Hear me out. And after you hear it out, then turn me down if you want. See, I think that brother just lied. Send him on back to the desert. Okay? Never before again.
Come on.
Oh, Brother Jabril, how come you went to him and you didn't go? Why did you, I mean, you heard Elijah Muhammad say he was coming back. He returned after 3 years. Yeah, that's right. He did.
Come on.
Well, where is he? Why? He asked me my best educated guess is that he's probably on the mother plane with Master Farad Muhammad. This is plain English. I don't say that you necessarily agree. This is where I'm coming from.
That's right. Come on.
I heard him say that's where he was going.
Yes, sir.
I know we had to stop on all planes, but that's where he said he was going. He indicated right in his newspaper, Muhammad Speaks. It's right in the paper. Many of us didn't read it, but it was right there where he would get the next phase of his mission on the plane, on the wing. So I take him at his word.
Yes, sir.
I don't know where he is on a daily basis, but I can't imagine any other place that he could be other than the wing. Can you back it up? Certainly.
Come on.
Yeah, but if I just read you something out of the Bible, you say, well, how do I know that's him? So now then we got a problem. And the problem is, how long can you hang? Now, my question is this.
Go ahead.
You can say something very quickly. We can say anything. Quickly, we can state the most difficult case in the world in a summary fashion. But stating a position never takes as long as proving it. It is difficult in any talk unless you take a small piece and just deal with a sliver and say, this is the point I'm going to make today, and here's the backup. But this involves quite a bit. All I can do is give you some contours of why the nation is not going to fall again, but it involves the assertion of statements that are only perceived by your spirit. Not by that lesser part of self that sometimes we use the word mind or intellect or whatever. And you can't grab it with your hands. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive.
Yes,
The Honorable Louis Farrakhan once thought he was dead. But came to see that he is alive by means of what? Aspects of his spirit. Where to go? He got some spiritual information that he pondered over, and that part grew, and he sees it to the extent that he stood before the world Savior Day in 1981.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he said, I'm saying, he said, I'm paraphrasing him, he's alive. Not just alive in you and me, but he's alive in his own body. And he said, the way to shut my mouth up, exhume the body, I'll pay the price. Compare the teeth to the dental records of Dr. Abdul Salam and the doctor or the dentist in Mexico, and if it proves that that body is the body of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I stop teaching. So you are here because of that man's faith, aren't you? Huh? You didn't put up on this by yourself. You are here on the faith of another man. Now you are pulling up by your, I call him big brother. He's bigger than me spiritually, he's bigger than me physically. He ain't gained another 20 or 30 pounds for the last couple of years. He picks up weight, he's into the 400-pound range. I ain't picking up nothing like that. Pick up my spoon. Pick up my sneakers. Try to exercise on his way. He's grabbing big, huge weights now. I call him my big brother. That's personal, that's informal, but that doesn't get you into the knowledge of the man. That's just a brother talking about a brother who he loves. But if I told you, and I use the word messenger, or the word apostle, or I say that Joseph, and I say even an aspect of Jesus, Aaron, Joshua, and Paul, Peter, all these men, even Muhammad to a certain extent, all signed with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Then we got big time argument.
That's right.
Huh? Come on, man. Why is there any argument whatsoever? You know what the root of that is? You know what the nitty-gritty root of it is? The root of the controversy, on the one hand, is arrogance and pride.
That's right. That's it.
But deeper than that is, we all don't have the same God.
Come on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Your knowledge of God determines how you see yourself. Your knowledge of God determines that by which you form friendships. If you call somebody an enemy, the root of it is how you see God. You are a friend or an enemy depending upon who our gods are ultimately. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Your idea of right, wrong, true, falsehood is rooted in who you say God is. Come on with it. Then you got black folks in America who took yesterday the white man for God. Now we learned a little bit. And you got people, all who say they believe in Allah, arguing with each other over who God is. That's wrong. And some want to settle it with a gun, showing that you don't have the God. If you need to use physical force to shut the mouth or threat to shut the mouth of a brother or sister that don't believe like you, so you are admitting you got the wrong God. Come on. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in Mission to the Black Man, I'm paraphrasing him, I think it's on page 89, a section called Bible. I forget the full name of it. He said if we could agree, I'm paraphrasing him, on what the Bible says about God, Jabril, the chosen of God, other subjects, well, we wouldn't have no problem. I'm paraphrasing him. I wish I had the exact words, but that's the idea. Now, agreement is the basis of love, isn't it? That's right. That's right. I'm not talking about the love we're born with. Whether we stay in love or grow in love, stay and grow and stay, depends on what God we accept. If we are from the same God originally, why should we have different gods now? Some say Allah is a spirit, and you niggas that believe God is a man are wrong. But I have not yet heard one brother or sister give me a reasonable explanation that supersedes or would cause me to put down what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, for example, when he said, to make God other than a man is to make him less than a man. Huh? I have not yet heard one brother or sister, for example, overcome the arguments the Honorable Elijah Muhammad lays down in 7 articles that were originally written in the Amsterdam News in 1957 that are reprinted from page 61 through 74, and our Savior has arrived. in which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad took those 7 articles and laid clear, not just that, but why God is a man, and he used 4 arguments. He used mathematics. He used general science. He used the nature of man, and he mostly relied on Scripture because that's what we understand. We don't know too much about the nature of man. We don't know hardly anything about mathematics. A lot of us don't even like it. Know it's the root of our own nature. And we haven't studied general science, so you can't deal with all of that. He used the Scripture, but the scriptural truths are scientific in nature. Let me give you a simple example. If a man is able to tell you, let's take horse racing as an example. Who will win? It's high lay out here. Well, that's too far. What you got out here? Young? Oh. And some of y'all youth in Belmont, and some of y'all used to bet on the horses, right? Maybe some of you still do. Now, here comes a man telling you, look, I got the best tip in the world. I got inside information. If you bet on horse A, even though he ain't won no races in 40 races, he will win Tuesday. He not only will win, he'll break the track meet. And I'm also going to tell you who's going to come in second, third, fourth, second and third. You can make a whole bunch of money. You say, this can't be. Let's say you go ahead and make the bet. You make a lot of money. So that's one thing. But suppose this man made this prediction openly in public. Enough people heard it, especially newsmen, who are always looking for some news piece. And the horse, it came in just like that. That's stunning, isn't it? But suppose this man picked the next 10 or 15 races like that. And they all came in. First, second, and third, as he said. Pretty soon you see him on all the talk shows. Pretty soon you see long lines outside of his office if he had an office. Because especially a lot of us would bring him out of his office, wouldn't we? If you can do that with the horses, I got a whole bag of problems over here I want you to help me solve. Wouldn't we say that? I mean, think over what is involved. You got the weather to think about. You got whether or not the horse going to break a foot, whether the horse had indigestion, what's the condition of the jockey. I mean, you got so many variables to consider, it's beyond ordinary calculation. You got to have a high-class brother or sister into the computer to deal with that. What are the odds? You're talking high mathematics. One horse race is heavy enough, but 10 to 15, the odds of a man being able to predict that is astronomical. Astronomical. His mind would either have to jump time or space, or he's God himself. I mean, think about what I'm saying here. I don't want to take up the whole afternoon dealing with it. The white folks call this probability theory. But if a man knows, speaks about what's going to happen, and it happens, and every time he runs his mouth about what's going to be on that racetrack, after a while, you're not going to die. You bet all your money. You see the point I'm getting at? Now, here comes the Bible. None of us write this book. We didn't write the Holy Quran. These books been here a long time. There are things in both books about these day and times that increasingly pastors and others are saying the books are coming to pass. Reagan, they call him the great communicator, said in 1980, all the components that make for Armageddon, according to the Bible, are in place. That's right. If you don't have the knowledge of what I'm talking about, you ain't got no basis to argue. But if I say something that's against what you hold to be true, and you get rocks in your jaw, you're a damn fool. Because all you got to argue with is ignorance. Do you hear what I'm saying? If a man or woman says something you don't agree with, don't take your ignorance as knowledge. You can only argue knowledge with knowledge. You follow me? If you don't know the subject, you can't argue. I'm repeating myself. A lot of black folks like to argue about that of which we have to know. And the root of that kind of stuff is false pride. We want to be something so bad because we ain't never been nothing. And all men want power. Right? And you want to marry a man that got power, sister. You don't want no weak man. When he says to you, I love you, he got one thing in mind, and you say to him, I love you. You got something else in mind. The areas of sameness and the areas of tremendous difference. If he's weak as water, you don't say, I love you, say, I like you. I respect you for that, and that. And you try to be tactful, and you don't mention the rest of the stuff, right? And brother, the ordinary man don't want to marry no woman whose voice is deeper than his, whose muscles are larger than his. That's just not nature. Right? She may be smart as a whip, but you don't want her with bigger muscles. You don't want her stretching in front of you. Your nature just can't deal with that. Unless there's something tremendously wrong with you. Now, I want you to get this real good. Now remember, those of us who have other kinds of positions with respect to the Bible and Quran, saying this man is our man, that man is our man, it's not a problem. It should be the basis for intelligent and friendly discussion, not the basis for killing each other. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
There's a man named Dr. Khalifa. I mentioned him in this book.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man is smart. He's dead now. He got murdered. There are others who claim to be Muslims, so the reports say. This man discovered a code. A fantastic code. This book is written according to this 19-base code. Blew the world's mind, those who read about it. The Muslim world applauded him because it helped to show that the book is absolutely scientific. It couldn't have been written by anybody other than God. Even though the Muslim world said that the God is a spirit. The point is, God had to produce this. Okay. Well, let's remember, this book bears witness to what's in this book. Huh? In terms of what we call ordinary history, the Holy Quran came after the Bible. Correct? And it bears witness to what's in this book. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad even told us he put the Quran over the Bible. It's true, 100% true. But the Bible has some truth and it has some non-truth in it. Nevertheless, everything written in the Bible, he said, is written to give us a picture of today. Everything, yes, everything. Right up to the end. A little teeny-weeny bit beyond that, but that's all. Likewise, the Holy Quran bears witness to the pictures given in the Bible. If you knew and I knew the storyline, then you can see the unfolding of the plan. Huh? A man gives you a map, and he traces the route you should take. He highlights it with a yellow whatever, a highlighter. This is the route you should take. You get from here to there, to the hereafter, to the kingdom or the establishment of the kingdom of God in a way that you are a part of it. That's what these books are supposed to be. The book's dominant theme is submit to God. Right? Why then do people argue over these books? Huh? If you're in the dark, and everybody says they are sincere, yet we all have a different idea of a thing called the elephant. One grabbing the tail saying it's a rope, another got the leg saying it's a tree trunk, another got the tusk says something else. One got the side saying it's a wall. All are in the dark. Are you following me? In the darkness of what? Ignorance. Their physical eyes, they're unable to see. Now, if they got physical eyes intact and they still misrepresent this thing called elephant, there's something else wrong in the head. Now look, why should black people be in argument over the Honorable Louis Farrakhan after we know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad presented a message so clear and nobody overcame that man in argument? Nobody. Now he's gone. His son and others say he was no good. But look now. Look carefully. The bottom line is if you don't really like a man, if you're too proud to follow a man, you can always invent falsehoods about the man. You can find fault. You can even find fault where there is no fault. Take your Bible. If you take a position as a person in the church house, a lot of people didn't agree with Jesus. That's right. They argued. There's not a prophet of God that didn't have trouble from some of the people. In fact, the majority of the people. But I want to say, if you could just get away from this emotional factor somewhat, put down your prejudices. If we could just do that, if we could be honest with ourselves, don't think more of yourself than you should. If we could do that, that's hard for a lot of us to do. You all find it a little easier to do it, sisters, than us brothers, because we just want to flex. Our intellectual muscles, in many cases. The black man by nature is a lion by nature. He's a born leader by his nature. That's right. That's you, brother, by nature. I'll say it again. By nature, every brother in this room is a born leader in some field or other. But the problem is, why don't we just, develop stuff properly? Do you know what's involved in the work of rebuilding the nation of Islam? Do you know what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has and is going through to do this? Do you know what kind of physical constitution you have to have? I ain't talking about lifting weights now. The makeup of a human being to withstand the stupendous travel schedule. To handle all kinds of mental and emotional problems, administrative problems, daily with non-stop 15 and a half straight years. Do you know what that's about? And people, everybody wants to kill you. Government wants to kill you. People who say they believe in Allah want to kill you. Ex-followers of Elijah Muhammad who say, Farrakhan, you went down. Be angry with me because you didn't stand up. They want to kill him. Do you know what kind of hour that was in 1977? Please, I just want you something. I can't go into all of it, but I want you to think. Ain't not a one of you got to deal with the kind of schedule on a daily basis that man deals with. And you don't have the best staff in the world. We ain't the best staff. Because we're trying to do better. But the president got a hellfire staff. All kinds of tools at his disposal. And every one of them get in office, they start turning real funny looking in the face, don't they? After a short time, the pressure comes down. And look at Louis Farrakhan. He gets prettier and prettier by the day. But I'm trying to reach for some of you in this room. Because I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. I know what you're thinking in that area. You say, I don't dig Farrakhan. But you don't know him. And there's none of you know him any better than I do. None of you do. Not any better. We can know him the same, but not better. I was there and I saw him. There's some people right now writing about his motives. Please. Please. Just because you got somebody you're following, why must you advance your leader at the expense of somebody else? That shows you ain't right. If you don't have enough truth to hurl at what you call falsehood, then what should you do? You should shut up. It's better to be thoughtful than to open your mouth and move on down. No way. The Bible tells you in the book of Sirach or the book of wisdom, I forget which. No, God doesn't give his wisdom to people who are filled with sin, filled with arrogance and pride. No. You can be clever, but you never become wise. God does not just let his spirit flow into a human being who is diametrically opposed to him. That's right. That's right. He lets Satan, for his own wise purposes, see certain things. That's right. I repeat myself, so God will never. No, he don't do that. He's too independent. Now, if you could see the Honorable Louis Farrakhan on a daily basis, as some of us see him quite often, he's the same every day. Except one area. He's literally working on himself to become a better and better and a better person. That's a fact. I'm not saying this because I get no medal. I don't get money for saying this. I'm not trying to sell a book. I could care less in that regard. If there was a way to give this away, I would do it. But I'm saying this. that if we can't even see past this fundamental basis, then the rest of what I'm about to say, you can probably never see it all. You're probably going to have to get beaten up by God himself. And if not beat up, then outright killed by God.
Sir.
Listen to me, please. Didn't you hear in the church house they say Peter's at the gate?
That's
And
right.
you can't get to heaven
That's right.
unless you
Teach on that.
get checked out and okayed by Peter.
That's right. That's
You
right.
heard that.
That's right.
What's the root of that? Is there any truth in that?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean? What does that really mean? I mean, really mean? You die, go inside the ground, you put you in a box, and on the judgment day you rise up, everybody standing in line, tent up, we walk to the gate, you know what I mean? There's Peter, you know, you, yes, you know, you. Is that the way it is? Please. When I was a small boy, I thought of the judgment like that. I thought it was something like that. Think on how you used to see things. Think on how you see things now. In fact, I should insert this while I'm at it. I forgot to mention this earlier. You know, brothers and sisters, we all have problems. But you know what's one thing we got to stop doing? There's not a one of us that we're all bent out of shape right now. Some sisters were abused when they were young. This happened, that happened, all kinds of things happened. But we got to get to the point where we don't look at what happened to us in the past in terms of those yesterday's eyes.
Yeah.
Huh? We grow more now. Look at those problems of yesterday in terms of what God has blessed you to see now. Don't look at 1973 or 1963 or 1943 with 1945 or 55 or 65 eyes. Look at it from the perspective of what you've been blessed to see in 1993. Don't allow yourself, I mean, if you've got control over it, don't allow yourself to get so damn depressed that you can't think. And get out of this idea that I got to wallow around in depression. I got to smash myself all down in it. And using that as a badge of honor, as an indication of your identity. I feel worse than you know. I feel worse than you know. I'm more worse off than you. Man, you can never be as bad off as that. You gotta stop that foolishness. See, you gotta stop. And that's where those study guides of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan come in. Because those study guides help to make us more honest with ourselves. The study guides are meant to supply a fuel for the moral side of our life. The teaching, the history that we're getting, all of that develops I would say, the intellectual aspect of the spirit. But there's another part of it called the moral side. It develops that aspect. It enables us to do better by what we're not learning. Are you following me? I'm not trying to be overly technical, but I want us to understand this thing. So many brothers and sisters, we are blowing this thing right now just because of jealousy. Envy. Some former followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, former officials, are doing by the Honorable Louis Farrakhan now in a manner, listen to me carefully, put it this way. There were people who used to argue against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and these brothers and sisters used to, with truth and intelligence, refute the arguments of those who argued against their teaching. Time now has passed, and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is in the seat of his teaching. They don't like it. They feel they should have had that position. I want to be big. You know, a person whose feet are so big he leaves no room in the room for anybody else's feet. He's angry because the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is living in the palace. He drives a nice car. Looks like he got a lot of followers. People are applauding by the name. And I want that position. My God. You know something? Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in response to a question I asked him once, Holy Apostle, how does one learn what one is born to do? Without any hesitation, he said, Brother, Allah has given us all many talents, but each a talent we can perform perfectly. All of us in this room have many talents, but each has a specific talent, which if you follow it out, you'll be so happy with yourself. There'll be no room in you for envy or jealousy.
That's right.
See, you will not think that somebody else is blacker you from your share of the light of the sun. Look, I think of myself. I'm not the best example, but I'm not jealous of my brother. I don't go around saying, I cut that nigga up. I'm taking a picture of him, but I really hate him. I wish it was a gun. I don't think like that. That's why God used me. He was going to use somebody, not me, somebody like that. Not perfect, but a man who was not going to be jealous of his brother.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to get you to see something very important about ourselves. All praise to the Lord. I want you to understand this so well. It's so doggone important because at the root of the problem Joseph had with his brothers, his 10 brothers, was what? They were envious. They were envious of Jesus. These major figures in the book, their problem was from their own people who are envious of them. You know who the white man is. You got no problem seeing him. Some of you are to the point where you're surprised that he even says a nice word. But it's your own kind that get up to you and do you in. Huh? That's the problem. Okay. My dear brothers and sisters, consider the storyline. Slaves. No, let's go back a bit. Abraham. God tells Abraham, leave from where you are. Leave your land, leave your people, leave your kinfolk. I'll tell you where to go. When he gets to a certain spot, he said, all right, stop right here. Okay? At a certain point, God told Abraham about the future of his seed, his descendants. They're going to rule the earth. Isn't that what he said? I'm paraphrasing. Your descendants will rule the earth. You won't be able to number them. But at a certain point, he got down to some specifics, but they got to go through some trouble first. They're going to serve 400 years in a land not their own, serve as strangers, among strangers, in a strange land. I'm going to come and change their situation.
That's right.
I'll break the hope of the slave master on the slave. Afterwards, they'll come out with great what? Substance. Right. Come on with the substance. Huh? What is great substance? Wisdom. A lot of money. Some of y'all can't even imagine a lot of money. Some of you can't imagine being a millionaire. If you knew that maybe 6 months from now that was absolutely destined, somebody died and left you $10 million. Would you be able to live? You say, oh God. It'll take you 6 months to get this money now. Could you make it? Huh? Huh? You know, like Muhammad did say that, they're going to come into great wealth. He said, but some of our people would die. They wouldn't be able to handle it. So get ready for wealth. You need wealth. That's right. You need to be rich. That's right. I know you can't even see that. Some of you can't see that at all. I know when I grew up in this city, I thought the whole world was full of concrete. I thought that grass was something that only was in a few parks. I was a very small boy. My perspective was very, very bent out of shape. And to me, people in Long Island, that was hick town. Any of y'all still think like that? Well, I thought people in Long Island, that to me was a long way away. Long Island. Where's that? It's far away. New Rochelle, far away. You think funny when you're real small, you know? Just like Santa Claus. You probably, a lot of us, probably most of us believe that 300, 400, 500 pounds, white men jumping down anybody's chimney simultaneously, regardless of time zone, and giving out toys or whatever, until you find out that.
That's right. Listen.
I want you to hear this next part real careful, then I'm just going to get out your way. I can't cover all this in my mind and heart to cover on this, but I just want to give you this little picture, this storyline, and then show you the minister in it. And I think it'll be a little bit clearer, at least the picture of why this is never going to fall again. I'm not going to try to prove it to you. That takes a lot more time. Maybe some other time we can come and give you some of the overwhelming evidence.
Yes, sir.
Do some mathematics.
Yes, sir.
All I want to do is give you this picture at this moment and see how it strikes your heart. Abraham wanted to know, about this. Abraham naturally loves his seed. This was not an ordinary man, Abraham. He's called the friend of God. The only way to become the friend of God is to submit to God's will. You and I become friends of each other to the extent that on the one hand we're in submission to the will of God, and on the other hand we're following the golden rule by one another. Right? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
That's how we become friends. The more and more we manifest the attributes or the qualities that make up the nature of God, which is our nature too, then the more and more we can become friends.
Yes, sir.
Got that?
Yes, sir.
Real clear?
Yes, sir.
Should I repeat it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very important, isn't it? The more and more we become manifestations of the character of God, nature of God which we have, the nature in which he created us, according to the Holy Quran. The more and more I grow in my nature, the more and more you grow in your nature, we automatically are friends. Not just brothers and sisters, but we're friendly brothers and sisters. That is so important. And that means that if you say that you got a better grip on the truth of things than we do who follow the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, are you then showing compassion on us? Are you by us, as Muhammad ibn Abdullah was by his wayward brothers? I make this point in this book, because I've met some brothers. The nation was down. You know, said, Jabril, we think of Bernard at that time, you ought to be with us. I said, fine, all that you need to do is convince me. Don't try to threaten me. I'm not going to accept those threats. You can't beat me into believing like you believe. But just convince me that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is wrong. If you do that, I'm neutralized. Then there's something else you got to do. You have to prove to me that your man is right. Don't yell at me. Don't scream at me. I'm not going for that. I'm a man. Prove your case. Take me into your evidence. I got an open mind. Show me the evidence. If you did the first thing, you should be able to do the second thing. Then I'll follow you. I say that straight up right now. If somebody can show me that I'm wrong in my witness of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, I will follow you. I want to follow superior wisdom. I want to, before I leave the planet, I want to exercise some of my God powers. I want to know what it is to exercise my godliness. Follow me?
Yes,
Not
sir.
just manliness, but godliness.
Yes, sir.
That's our nature.
That's right.
So if you got something better, talk to me.
That's right.
Don't scream and don't yell at me and don't threaten me with no gun.
That's right. Go ahead.
I'm not going for that. No man's going to go for that. If you got the truth, you should be able to present it in a manner that any sane person can accept.
That's right.
Now I'm talking to those of you here or who may hear this tape. And you heard that nigga who came in town and wrote that book. You know. Some let you know where I'm coming from in a very plain and simple way.
Come on.
Rocks in your jaw, don't frighten nobody. People, you got little youngsters today who, if they could, they'd shoot the government. You got 12-year-old, 13-year-old boys, they're afraid of nothing. This is the time. People are losing it. You got to come with some good common sense. No threat.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
I just want to lay that out because you know that once upon a time there was a lot of people who wanted to do the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. It was a time when he became in this city, so people wanted to put him in the ground.
That's right.
Well, people grow. Time passes, people grow. See, he has never returned insult to insult. He's not like that. His love is for his people. He wants to see his people united. I'll take this a step further because maybe you know this and maybe you don't. But I want to touch this and then finish the story right on. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan was approached by Sister Elijah Muhammad. This was only one instance of several of the same thing. The earlier part of 1977 in Chicago. And she said to him, she talked to him about teaching and, presenting the teaching and unifying our people on teaching, presenting the message of her husband in so many words. But she was very careful how she touched it because she was looking at something. Very brave woman. She was looking at something about him, and she put it on him in a certain way so as to watch his reaction. Because there was something about him that she felt in our heart from our study, as which he's an extraordinary student of the scripture. And he said words that approximate or almost the same, and certainly the spirit of the way Aaron talked. Aaron didn't want to divide the people. He didn't want to do that. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan wasn't going to play with leadership. He didn't know what to do to get the people in one love together. He loved black folks. He didn't know how to free our people when it was a young man coming up, but he used his music. At least I can make them happy if I can't free them.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Right.
So interesting. And then his teacher took his musical instrument from him. And just before he left, put it back in his hand. 2 years ago, he picked it up and played Mendelssohn the other day in Winston-Salem. And half Jews now confused.
Yes, sir.
If I forget to make this point before I leave, somebody raise their hand. But I want to mention before I leave you these words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. What was the first words he said to brother about his identity when he first met him in person? I don't want to forget that. Really cool. Okay? Now look, Abraham wanted to know. You know, he believed in God, but he's in love with a people that he only sees in the spirit. God is talking to him from his accurate foresight concerning us. Abraham trusted God and is seeing by means of God's eyes. And he's troubled by what he sees. And he wants to know how you're going to free him. I know you're going to do it, but I want to understand more of the means by which it's going to happen. And God says in words, okay. He puts Abraham in a deep sleep and transports him in the spirit to our days of slavery. He enables Abraham in his spirit to feel the hell we have gone and are going through. It's called a horror. The word horror is used. Have you ever had a horrible nightmare? A nightmare frightens you. You wake up shook up. You can read the details yourself. But what God did was transport him, enable him to see this. But prior to that, he did this. The Bible says it, but the Quran says it better. He had him to take some birds and train them to incline to him. And the idea is, look, you're not the author of the birds' chirp and song. You're not the author of the means by which the birds fly. You're not the author of their nature. I am. But I give you the power. You're less than me, but I grant you the insight on how to train birds to bow to you, and you're not their author. How much more am I, the living God, able to maneuver righteously without violating the free will of human beings? Work those situations out in advance so that my people will come up out of this predicament. I control the laws that govern the rise and fall of nations. Do you see the point? Then he put him in his sleep. Then he made him to experience the horror that we were to go through. Brought him out of it. In the Holy Quran, chapter 6, I think it's verse 76, God showed him something of how he governs creation. He had to trust that man. God don't give you that kind of insight if you don't share a great measure of his spirit. Huh? We have lessons. One of them is called the problem book. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the way you understand that's the fifth of 6 written lessons is that you got to just keep reading. Keep reading. Keep reading. Haven't you ever read anything and you go back to that thing some months or years later, you see what you didn't see before? The words have not changed, you have. Right? Okay, there's a lesson called the problem book. You grow as you grow, and I grow in the Spirit of God as we get into his motivations, into his intentions, into his character. That we share more and more of God's view into things. Are you following this? This is crucial to what I'm about. It's crucial to life itself. the more and more we share God, the more and more our divinity is developed, the more and more you automatically see as God. Look, when you and I were children, we don't see as adults, but as we grow, things look different. Not only physically, but perspective-wise, spiritually, or intellectually speaking. It looks different. You see things more and more as they are. Right? You go to college and you take a course in whatever, and you sit there for 6 months, you get information, you read books, you hear people talk, and your eyes come open, sitting in a classroom to that which previously you did not see. How much more important is it for us to understand that if this in fact is the end of the world, we got to know God. Doesn't your Bible say, 1 John 3:8, for this cause the Son of God was made manifest that he might destroy the works of the devil?
Yes, sir.
The works of the devil are just not external to us. If we're living in the change of the world, and if we are, it is not just the white man losing his power to mess over people, but also that which is the base of the white man in ourselves is in the process of being exposed and destroyed. We're living in the change of the world, not only externally throughout the earth, but each human being is experiencing a war within his or herself. God and the devil is at war on the planet, and God and the devil is at war inside of you and me. Now, the Jews say that we were the descendants of Abraham. Don't they say that? Yes, they say we were the ones in bondage 400 plus years. But the question one can ask is, when, according to the Bible, did that 400-year period begin? Abraham was not a slave. Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph was a slave for a few minutes. I want to know, when did the 400 years begin? If you add up Abraham's time to the time of Moses, you don't have 400 years there. I say go get your book. You don't have 400 years. Then go back. God promised Abraham, your descendants will occupy so much and so much land. The boundaries will be this and this and this and that. I don't know what the details, the names, but the boundaries are such and such. Look at the history of Jews from way back then as they claim to right now. The Jews have never occupied what they call Israel according to the boundaries given in the Bible. What does that tell us? The type or the sign is not the real thing. The type or the sign is just that. It's incomplete. It doesn't fill up the terms of the prophecy. That alone wipes out the Jews' argument. And if they was chosen, they was only chosen for a few minutes to do just as they have done, be wicked people, mess over people. They were blessed among their people. A Jew is nothing but a white man who, way back then, starting in the cave, was more responsive to Moses than the others. And God had to keep on sending prophets. And those among the white folks that were more responsive to the prophets than the other white folks, we call them today Jews. That's all. All of them come from the same source. We don't put them down because they're born devils. We don't do that. Nobody has any choice about how they're born. We shouldn't mock them because they're born of the original people of the planet Earth, and they're not. We don't mock them because of that. Muhammad was a white man. Huh? That would mean we're going to marry their wife, or their daughter, or their husband, or their son. Huh? That's going too far. That's crossing the line. The Bible says in the beginning that after God produced Adam, he separated the sons of Adam. Let them remain separated. Huh? God made the separation in the beginning. The devil makes integration in the end. Why? Because when God comes, he wants to take God's people down with him. That's the nitty-gritty of this thing. Everybody knows by now integration don't work. It solves nothing. Except the minds of talking of wicked people. Here comes Moses. Moses. Moses says what? God comes in a burning bush.
Yes.
The bush is burning, but it don't burn up. God is angry, but he contains that rage. Right? Malachi says, behold, the day cometh as an oven. God's going to burn up the world, but it's oven-like, top, bottom, side. Not the whole planet. It'll be like it was in the days of Noah. Not drowning anybody on the whole planet. There's not enough water to do that. You don't have enough water on earth nor in the skies above to go 6 miles or more. And if you added more water, then you have more weight and you push the earth out of its orbit. That's not it. Only a certain spot. Only a certain spot. All praise to the Lord. John like Muhammad said, if you and I were wise enough to go to the drugstore and you could buy the chemical that the scientists use to see if the clouds would drown the people. It wasn't the whole planet. It was just the wicked folks at a certain spot. And God got rid of them. And one of the main factors in getting rid of them is some stuff called immigration. God didn't want it. It was messing up with, die. Kill it. God kills people. God will kill you. Nobody more loving than God. And his ability to kill is more ferocious than the devil's ability to kill. You and I kill anybody kills in the service of your love, unless you're out of your mind. Huh? You love your wife, brother? You go home, you see a man abusing your wife, 2 men and a child, and your children. What happens? You're normal, you go to war. You try to hurt them in the service of what you love. That's normal. Wife, a mother, children, somebody messing over your children, you go crazy, don't you see? You will do anybody in the service of your love. That's the way it goes. Now the wicked, the demons, they do evil by people in the service of their hatred. There's another kind of fella here. That's another whole program. If you know this, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. But then unlike Muhammad said, white folks have never made a convert to God. The whole 6,000 years, not one convert to God, not one. It was open. I don't get enough. They're on the job yet, right? I mean, they're still talking. He hasn't even made the first step. He's still getting it together or being put together. All of his expressions, I can't handle it. But now, what did God say? Who made your mouth? I'm sufficient for you. Isn't this what you find in the Holy Quran? Right. All God's messengers, God is sufficient for them. Right. And they say, thou art not a messenger. Last verse of chapter 13. Say, Allah is sufficient as a witness between me and you. You don't have to go any further, but he goes further and says, and whoever has knowledge of the book. Chapter 6, verse 19. Whose word is greatest in testimony? Allah says, my word. My own word. I'm the greatest testifier and backer upper of the men that I sent. Yes, sir. He says that in words in the Holy Quran. Then 636 it says, only those accept and listen. Yes, sir. Meaning a person is refused to hear God. Which is a negative way of showing our divinity, isn't it? There's nothing else in creation can tell God no, but his children. I mean, there's nothing else in creation bugs God. We tell God, I don't know if I want to submit to you or not. I don't know. I got to make this money. I'm busy. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'll see you day after tomorrow. I got things I got to do first. Isn't that our attitude? Yes, sir. I'm coming after I finish doing this filth that I got to do. I got to do this filth for the next 6 months. Then maybe I'll be there. Isn't that how we talk? Only human beings can tell God later, preacher, that I get you in a world of trouble. But human beings have the freedom to say yes or no. I can be a damn fool and run in front of a Mack truck. It's crazy to do. That thing will flatten me out, right? But I can do that if I choose. That's a negative way of indicating something of the power of us all. Now look. He gives him Moses. Gives Aaron to Moses. Why? Moses wanted help. He's talking out of his weakness, and he don't see down the road. Why did God give Aaron to Moses? He's looking down the road, and he sees a need, not that Moses is going to have in that sense. He's sufficient for Moses, as far as the delivery of the message is concerned, but he knows he's got a hard-headed people here. Sir. And they're so hard-headed, they're so dead spiritually, it's going to require an extraordinary display of God's own attributes to wake these dead straight. Yes, sir. Something extra is required. Huh? Yes, think on this carefully, because this is what I came here to tell you. So he gave him Aaron. He said, when Aaron sees you, he'll be happy to see you. There ain't no problem. I'm handling this to God. And then as you notice, they both share in the exercise of the rod. At first, it's more Moses than Aaron. Moses, Aaron. Moses, Aaron, the 10 plagues. And then it's Moses, Aaron, more equally, and then it's Moses and more Aaron. Have you noticed that? Huh? And then finally, Moses uses the rod while standing on land over water. I don't want to forget to tell you that before I go to the end of this whole thing. So, that's a picture, my dear brothers and sisters. You start to follow your Bible story right all the way out. The way we have it told by theologians and the way the Bible reads. It's the history of the development of a nation. And this nation goes up. It's a very rebellious nation, isn't it? They have, after Moses and Aaron, they have Joshua. Then you have the judges, 16 judges. Then you got Samuel. Then you got Saul, David, Solomon. Kingdom splits in two. The northern part is sucked up by Assyria. According to the history of the Bible here, the bottom part called Judah is sucked up by Babylon. The northern part is gone, the lost tribes. There's all kind of folks got all kinds of interpretation. I'm a member of this, I'm a member of all kinds of talk. Everybody can be anything in darkness. But the Bible tells you it will be dark until God comes. So everybody talking what they are. White folks, black folks, Indians, everybody all over the planet. I am this, I am that. Yeah, everybody can be anything. We can't really tell till the light's turned on. Right. The light must be turned on until the end of time. Your Bible teaches you that prophecy is a light shining in a dark place. The word dark in the Greek word there that is put in English dark has reference to moral squalor, spiritual nothingness, and moral degeneracy to the max. The Bible and the Quran, if you study it carefully, is telling us that in the last days of this world, human beings, human life will have degenerated to the point where now you have spiritual and moral darkness that is the absolute equivalent of what it was in the beginning of time when the first light sparkled in the darkness. At that time it was total darkness, nothing. And we were taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Adam to get rotating in space. And out of it came or evolved and grew the first man. Here you have today a world so evil. Men, white men, not black men, but white men. I'm talking about those that you can see in power. They have their fingers on buttons, ICBMs and whatnot. We can destroy the earth over and over again. This man has in his mind the idea, if I can't rule according to my wishes, nobody lives. Right. Real deep. Real deep. Yes, sir. But there are some people who we don't see. Black men, born of black women, who are not in the dark. May I use a minor example to make this major point? When I was in high school, I was told here in the public school system that our brothers used slaves to build the pyramids. Okay, you had to have a lot of slaves to drag these huge stones. Oh, but you got men, you got a pyramid of shape that people today can't build. White folks with all their science and technology can't build a pyramid. They don't know how to put blocks together like that without glue, mud, you know? How do the brothers do that? Oh, please, come on now. How did the brothers get that stone up to the top? I mean, after a while, they had no space to drag it. How did they get that granite toward the top? Please, now. There's no way to prove that slaves were used to do that. People that smart don't need slaves. It was the last sign we put here before the black nation took a 6,000-year snooze. A sign saying, one day we're coming back. The wise black man passed that knowledge down, brother to brother to brother. And the brothers over there right now know how to do that. You got some brothers in Alabama and other schools right now over 300 years old. You didn't look it. Does Louis Farrakhan look like he's 60? Come on. How old is he? About 30? 35? Sometimes it's 20. Depends on how much pressure he had that day. Muslims just slow down, grow. Naturally, if you eat 89 times a day, you get old and hungry. White folks have experimented in D.C. with rats. The less you eat, the skinnier you get, the longer you live. The more you eat, the fatter you get, the shorter you live. No argument about that. White folks have proved that. Bring white folks to the witness. Everything of this teaching, white folks bear witness to it. Every single thing we've been taught, every bit of it, white folks bear witness to it. Here's an example. We got lessons. We got some lessons over here. Here we got some lessons called the actual facts. Now these actual facts, if you go back and look in the white man's encyclopedias, 1900, 1910, 20, 30, I did that kind of research. All of a sudden in the 30s, their numbers begin to jump. And increasingly, their numbers are more and more like these numbers that were written 60-some years ago. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad went to the 4th grade of school. He wasn't taught nothing about all these numbers. Huh? He wasn't taught about that. A man sat down in front of him and wrote it out, and he took it to the printer. Huh? Here's a lesson called the problem book. This is one of the older ones. One of the old ones. The problem book. It's old. This color. And there are figures in here that teach us the dimensions of the universe. Many, many, many figures in here. Measurements. Without mathematics, without measurement, you can't build anything. The point I'm making very simply, very quickly is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's figures that he gave us another chicken. He said, God taught him it, here it is, boom. White folks' figures have changed and changed and changed. What does that tell us? Did you know that when the white folks arrested him in 1942, May 8th, they questioned him 13 straight hours? That's in this book. But something else I put in the book is the fact that they took his, had his bag of goodies, wisdom in it. And included among those many things was the knowledge of the future of China. How a black man, 4th grade education, running for his life, going to anticipate the future of China. White folks didn't know what it was going to be. Saying to you, white folks know what the hell is happening. They know. You and I don't know. Let me see. I'm too busy now. Please. If we could just get rid of the pride factor, we could take care of our business. Quickly. Your Bible ends. If you could take the 17 books of history, take the 17 books of prophecy, and dovetail them properly. If you could do it, it would look something like this. This would be the history from here to here. Let's say from Genesis to where the kingdom is split in two. Then you take the 17 prophets, stick them in this place. You see where some of them prophesied of the fall of Israel and Judah, and then the rise of the people later on. and the establishment of the kingdom. This is your whole Bible now, in a couple of words. Then some of the prophets came after the fall, while the people are in exile, and they're talking about the future. Put all the prophecies together, lay it up beside the Holy Quran, and you have a picture of today. And in that part of that picture is the knowledge of the birth, growth, commission, mission, message, work, and future of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Did you know that? You have your New Testament. You have the story of Jesus. He's around for 3.5 years, then he gets lynched. Paul Harvey, you ever heard of Paul Harvey?
Yes, yes, sir.
He said about 2-3 weeks ago that some white folks that he studies under, or has respect for, they say the real cause of death of Jesus was police brutality. The police did that. They beat him up and struck him. Kind of resembles what you and I have gone through that. Huh? Look at this now, 3.5 years. And then he's gone. He comes back and says, I'm alive, I'm touched. I'm not dead. I made it. They don't know how he made it, but he made it. Right? The Holy Quran says that Jesus was made to appear as dead. And after he goes up into the heavens, you don't see him again according to the way the book is wrote out. Then you have Peter. You have the Spirit of God that comes down. I mean, please follow that. You heard about this in the church. You read this. The Spirit comes down. Let's jump. You jump way at the end of your book. You see here, Acts. Jesus is going up, right? Get this real clear. He's going up, 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 until they don't see him anymore. Then the seer called John, or whoever, in the book of Revelation, from the point of view of those in heaven, sees a lamb. The people on earth see him going up. The people in heaven see him coming in. He's coming from down below. He looks as if he was slain. He went through a rough experience. And into his hand is given, or he comes up to the one sitting on the throne, possibly, and takes from his hand a book. And he opens the seal. Now, as he opens, now listen to me carefully, please. From verse 5, or rather 6 through 18. 6 through 18 in Revelation, he's opening seals. And as he opens seals, stuff happens down on the earth. He's in heaven doing this, and that happens down on the earth. He does the other, and that happens down on the earth among the people, right? Now I need to go back to the book of Acts. The Spirit comes down on the people. Jesus is in heaven, shooting the Spirit down. Pardon my blunt language, but I don't want to be misunderstood. He sends it down. Boom! And now the people are there. The man who had the biggest cup, the biggest container to hold the greatest amount of the Spirit is Peter. Others had their amounts, whatever their cups was, pots, whatever. Peter received, the Spirit comes down, so the people got drunk. And some of the critics criticized. He explained, didn't he? He utilized the book of Job, chapter 3 especially, and he explained what was going on. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you have the rest of your book of Acts. Peter fades and Paul takes over and deals for the rest of the book of Acts. Other people do what they do. You have the whole scenario. This is the establishment of the early church. And everything I've just told you from Genesis to Revelation is a picture of what we're going through right now. Israel went up and went down. We went up as a people and we went down, down, down. We traveled 50,000 years to back. We landed in the white man's grip.
Yes, sir.
There is some deep science in this.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you just a couple of numbers. I'm not playing no games with numbers, and I'm not trying to look smart. Since I can't look smart, I can't be smart. One, I'm like Muhammad one day sent me to a radio program. Gave me my instructions. They say this, you say that. They say that, you say that. They come with this, you go that way. They do this, you go that way. Put me together, sent me out, and said, now, brother, as long as you talk on what you know, you'll always sound intelligent. Sound.
Yes, sir.
Have to grow and catch up with the rest. Put the word in and have to catch up with it later on. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to show you something else. In this book, I have a section in here, page 147, wherever it may be, in which I'm talking about what he said the future is. the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about the future. I gotta give you these. I don't want you to misunderstand this at all. I mean, I see you again for a long time.
Go ahead.
There's the words he gave me that I am not the author of. In fact about it, I happen to be one of those individuals blessed to know that I have never thought an original thought in my life. Never thought one time ever. And therefore, I have not the author of one good act that I've ever done. Therefore, I have no right to take credit for the consequences of one good thing I have said or done. I have to say all praise to you, but it's also out of recognition of the fact that I'm not the origin or the originator of one true insight that's running through my head. Am I being humble? No. I'm just trying to see things as they are. Now let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. Let me read you some words. I'm going to read you the exact words that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote. I'm just going to read them with minimum comment and show what we'll blow if we blow the Holy Spirit in the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, the man with the biggest container to hold the Spirit of God. And I'm pleased now. Don't it make sense for God to pick the best person? Yes, sir. Why didn't he pick me? Why didn't he pick me? You might be saying. Well, you're picked too. That's right. You're just not picked to be your brother. You're picked to be yourself. That's right. That's right. Huh? And if you're a little puzzled about who you are, keep growing. You will come to the full realization of who you are, because this is what Master Muhammad came for. Right. Sir. Come on. Page 137. These words the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave me for this book, October 1967. As there were two phases of Moses' work, there are two phases of the work of the man like Moses. Yes, Moses liberated his people from bondage of Pharaoh and his people. But he did not have that which could bring the ex-slaves success in the country or land where they were going. So the scriptures teach us that Moses had to go up to the mountain and meet God again. He had to meet God again to get that which he and the people had to have in order to be successful in the promised land. In that land, they were to become independent. So they went on for a while. Then God gave it to Moses at the proper time. Those are his words. God gave it to Moses at the proper time. Those are his words. Then there's some other words that he gave me that I want you to know that I didn't authorize. Okay? Some pretty heavy stuff in this book. Well, it's a heavy book. I don't say this because I wrote it. I'm just bearing witness to some heavy material. Sometimes I read this thing, I don't read it often. I look at it and I say, damn, I wrote that? Because I go to see better what I wrote. Because I'm not the author of it. I learned from this thing that I wrote because I'm not the author of the wisdom of it. But if I get all proud and chesty, I won't see nothing. Well, that's deep. Page 140. No messenger of Allah in the past was ever able to take the general natural laws of the universe and the laws of the nature of man to bear witness with the truth of the Almighty, all-wise designer and creator of the heavens and the earth. He gave you that sentence, and I added some things to it about him, because he's the first man in the history of such human beings who is capable and did it when he was among us. And the material is available to any one of us. He took the laws of nature, the laws of human beings, of our nature, mathematics, and showed that it bore witness to the message that came out of his mouth. The man said, I'll give you $100,000 and even up the ante later if anybody can prove one thing he taught false. Easy to talk about a man when he's not on the scene to defend himself. But now we got some defenders. Yes, sir. And the very fact, we don't have to argue this thing. We don't have to get crazy. the fact that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan brought this thing back against the will of all kinds of opponents is an indication of the superiority of the wisdom put in his head by his teacher.
That's right.
He's still representing his teacher in his person.
Yeah.
It's like Elijah Muhammad's right arm in another man. Not that I'm talking about two distinct men. One man is wherever he is. The other man is in our midst. But the other man grew and grew and grew. Plus was given some instructions. And as he followed out the instructions from his instructor, he was able to bring this thing back and then some. Ooh, we about to get to one big point in a minute. I hope you don't run out of here and call me crazy for what I'm about to tell you. Let's see this now. Page 141. Master Farad Muhammad, these are his words that he gave me, which I wrote down because I know they're true. Master Farad Muhammad aimed. Now this is the program. This is what's coming up if we don't blow this. Aims to raise the lost found, meaning the so-called Negro Party, into the knowledge and wisdom, the very ideas of the gods of the past. What gods? Stop. You have scientists, men who wrote the original scriptures. If you were to read these books carefully, both these books contain words that tell any reader that these books come from a larger book. These books tell you that. Now, where is this larger book? Well, you don't know. Mystery. In the Holy Quran, the God says, we, not I, but we have the mother of this book with us. We guard it. Why? Everybody on earth ain't right. So it's a secret. The origin of the big book produced once every 25,000 years, that's a secret. The ones who write it, that's a secret. Well, why is it a secret? Because we messed up. We disrespected God way back yonder so thoroughly that the gods knew it was in the best interest of everybody that they just pulled out the windshield. Deal with man from behind the veil. Guide men from behind the veil. To put it blunt, men guiding men and women from behind the veil. The prophets are among the people. They are lesser people. These petty scientists could walk right among you. You wouldn't know. A wise man can look just like a fool. But a fool, that he only has one program. Fool. And the biggest fool is he who thinks he knows before he's been taught. And we all, let me tell you what he told us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told the minister, this is the wake-up message, and he also called all of this information that we got kindergarten knowledge. We are in the kindergarten of God's knowledge. Do you know how to tune in and read minds? Oh, then you like me in the kindergarten. Do you know how to make a tornado or an earthquake? Oh, then you in the kindergarten. Do you know how to make a hurricane go down on your enemies if that's what you want to do? Or how to make the sun shine, move the clouds out of the way if that's what you want to do? Oh, then like me, you're in the kindergarten. We're just getting the ABCs of this thing. Huh? I don't care how powerful you are. You don't have control over the forces of nature, and yet, potentially that's in all of us. It's the Muslims overseas that when they need some help, they go to the Imam, you need some help, you need some rain, brother. Go pray to Allah. You're heavier than us. You got better Jews. Pray. They go clean up and they go on a fast and they pray, and Allah blesses. Allah loves it, right? But I'm saying the black man, we have been taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have to come into our juice, brother. In fact, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did not tell us what God told him about how we used to do and carry on righteously prior to 6,000 years ago. Because the white folks would take advantage of it. Nor will we be taught such things as how the pyramids were built, and beyond that, until after their power is broken, because they could take advantage of it. Remember, my subject is never to fall again. If you put a person into the eternal aspect of things, they stay here forever. That's why Yaqub was not allowed to make his devil in Mecca. It would have been like scrambled eggs. You never can take the white and the yellow apart. You'd be with them forever. Then there would be no ability on the part of the black man himself to ever get rid of his lower self. So you never make them over there, not over here. You know the Honorable Farrakhan was told, and you know, your common sense tell you his vision was true. You know that he told on Reagan and the boy. We all know that now. And we know that the white press came out and bore witness. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan no control the white man's press. And you know, brother number one, he did not go to Reagan's office, bust open the door, and said, I'm here, I'm Farrakhan. I'm here. I'm sitting in on this. He didn't get it like that. He didn't send one of us. None of them called the minister's home and told him what was happening. Nor did they send an emissary around his back door. Do you get the point I made? Yes, sir. That is an indication of that something is happening among us that's in our favor. I want you to wait and go back and check out that brother's vision in 1985. When God gives you a super powerful vision, they always make a part of it relatively immediately, let's say, visible or real, or where people, anybody can see it. People who didn't have the vision, for example, Muhammad, 14 centuries ago, had a tremendous vision. Some of his followers doubted it. You don't believe you had that vision. But while he was up there, going up or coming down, whichever, he saw a caravan a few miles out of town. Next morning when he's talking and they're dealing with it, he was able to tell. He was able to tell the people about this caravan. Now when the caravan came into Mecca a couple of days later, that blew away. That knocked down all argument. Because there's no way he could have known about that caravan. Come on. It's the same thing in that vision. There's some heavy-duty parts to it. Heavy-duty parts to that vision. But there was one part that it had to do with the government secrets. There's no way for Big Brother to have known that except by the way he got it. And he courageously stood up and told it. And then later on, white folks copped to it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What does that say? Don't you know there's some heavy-duty white folks to whom we pay tax dollars who are paid to study the power of prophecy? Yes, so said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They know what this is and they know who you are. Anytime people will give you money and give you their woman, that's the white man saying, I know my time is up. Yes, but I hate you so much so, I'll give you my daughter and give you some money and fake you out so that when your God comes to kill me, he kills you too. And they recognize, like the Jinn in Surah 72, they recognize the truth of what our brother is saying. And they're trying to follow him. And those white people will be blessed to see an aspect of the hereafter that their own other white brothers will not see. Now, so that to get the knowledge and wisdom, the very ideas of the gods of the past. That kind of wisdom is not going to be given now, but it's about to come very soon. Because we're at the end of this thing. He aims presently to raise his people into his own ideas, in himself. The scriptures may be fulfilled that those to whom he reveals himself become the sons and the daughters of God, sons and the daughters of the wisdom of God. He aims not only to reveal his ideas for the present creation of the universe, meaning he's going to make some changes in it. He's already begun introducing changes in this whole thing. He's on the way toward improving creation, but also to give man the nature and the creative wisdom to produce creative ideas as the father of civilization. Stop. What? Take out of us the ability to do evil. mean, what you going to do, cut on us? No, there's a way to do it. And produce this kind of wisdom that enables us to produce what? Ideas. That's where everything comes from. You're not talking about making something, where you look at something and you make something, or you improve on what somebody else made. We're talking about that out of nothing. Out of the darkness of an area of your brain, you conceive of something for the benefit of the people, and you produce it. That's what's coming down the pipe for our people. So why argue over blocks and crayons and chalk in the kindergarten class? Let's graduate to the first grade. Can't do it with an envious and jealous heart.
That's right, Elder. Yes, sir.
This is what was prophesied, that God would make man like himself. He aims to make the nation of righteousness, who will rule in the hereafter with the potential knowledge of producing and bring it into action or existence, that which he has been able to produce. We call this ideas. He aims to make each one into a God. I didn't write that. I wrote the word, but I'm not the author of that. That, if you look in your book, that came out of his mouth. It's another example. If you look at this, my dear brothers and sisters, you find your Bible and Quran bear witness to this 1,000%. Yes, it's rough to be born black in America, but it's the greatest blessing you could have next to getting this wisdom and accepting it. Once you accept this, you're never the same again. Even if you say, after a few weeks, I changed my mind. White folks is all right. Niggas really the devil. I don't want to get rich, and I want to stay ignorant forever. So go back to my dope or my whatever. My towel, my whatever. Truth will never let you alone. The God will agitate you. The God is in love with this people. He'll work with us and make it hard and do this and do that, because he is absolutely in love with us. Unlike Muhammad said, he came not to say I'm God, stick his chest out, but to take a people who are on the bottom and begin lifting them the way he is. He's already on top. By praising the God, you don't make him bigger. By recognizing him and growing and praising him through our behavior and accepting his word and growing in it, that's how we praise it. That's how we glorify it. Glorify means to serve the purpose for which he came. Now look at this. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan. 1963. Malcolm leaves the Nation of Islam in 64. Some people don't have that thing too straight. You know that? I was asked a question the other night in New York, and I think I'll mention it right now. Because it's not in Malcolm's book, so he knows that. It's not in a lot of people's writings he talks. So many experts on Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
Who never met him.
Yes, sir. Teach on that.
Who never met him. Yusuf Shah, one of the most knowledgeable men of Malcolm, just died. Listen to this point. I'm not knocking Malcolm. Malcolm is the one that told me. I'm not knocking. It is not, as I said in this book, it is never necessary to put nobody down to lift your man up.
That's right. That's right.
It's never necessary. Just be accurate and balanced with the truth. I want to make this point very briefly. I'm about to end this. I don't know what time it is. I'm hanging with you. But I think just a couple more minutes. Malcolm left the nation. Remember this. There's a little something you need to know. Maybe you don't know it. I don't see it in books. Or I see it in one book where I told the writer something he didn't know. The white man lives in this town. I guess he's still alive. One of the editors of Newsweek magazine, who wrote a book, The Death of Malcolm X. Peter Goldman, thank you. And I was writing a book on Malcolm myself, I thought at one point. I needed to do some research, and I came to this city. And I needed to have the transcript of the trial. So I did it over the house. And when I met the man who made the transcript, he told me Peter Goldman had it. He's writing a book. I said to myself, because I had already written Harper and Row some months earlier. And I gave them my outline, and we appreciate what you're writing. However, we already have a writer under contract, and he's been under contract the last 6 years. I said, that's really interesting. because he never talked to any of us. How the hell you write a book on Malcolm? You're not going to interview Honorable Louis Farrakhan or Shah or the brothers and sisters in this city. Huh? How you going to do it? Unless you're going to tell a lie. And hey, a lot of people lie. This is the man of lies. Lying with us. America is as American as apple pie, isn't it? Yes. Slander and libel is part of the program. It's people make a living off lying and slandering and telling untrue. Okay. Now, regardless of what you think about what side of the fence you may be on this issue, here's some facts that you got to consider. Number one, in October of 1963, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because of how the white folks acted in Flint, Michigan, said, no press in my meeting. Then Kennedy gets killed on the 22nd. And the word goes out, no public talks, cancel the talks. How many people in the public know, and it's a fact, there's a lot of us around that know it, that Malcolm went anywhere and held, made a talk in Connecticut, University of Connecticut, and he dogged Kennedy, and a white boy got furious and was bad, was angry. I wasn't there, but I was told this when Minister Don Muhammad was there. And I just learned the other day that he confirmed it. Shah told me this in 71. Minister Don Muhammad, I learned this through Minister Shah the other day, told him about this. There are people around us, but I'm saying that know the truth of a whole lot of things. You got to consult with us, Mr. Writer. We can tell you a few things about our own, what we have lived ourselves. Why talk to a spook or talk to somebody else that wasn't around? We're going to wait till we all die off? It's not going to happen. We better tell our own story. Now, look. He went there. According to what Shah told me, that he had never seen Malcolm shook up before no public speaking engagement. The white boy was ferocious because Malcolm was wrong. He knew he had disobeyed his teacher. And now he was looking at the anger of white folks and this one white man. And there were others there, I understand, furious. And they had to hustle Malcolm out of it. Now, you may or may not agree with Shah and other brothers told me, I wasn't here, but these brothers told me that Malcolm persuaded Elijah Muhammad, you should go ahead and have this speech anyway. First or the 2nd of December 1973. There are many other people that told me, said they were eyewitnesses of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad giving Malcolm his speech over the telephone. Many of you can't imagine, many people cannot imagine Malcolm sitting at the table along with other brothers and sisters like the rest of us taking notes. But he was a student just like the rest of us. Just like the rest of us. Okay. Now, Malcolm, outbound of the day drove up. Shah had dismissed this white man, M.S. Handler, the same one who wrote the introduction to Malcolm's book. He was going down the street. Shah mentioned it to Malcolm. Malcolm said, send one back. White man came back, sat in his building, disobedience. I'm told, I've read, brother stood up, asked a question. Malcolm didn't now, they said there's a tape available. Some say without any hesitation, he said what he said about Kennedy. Not according to the way I heard it. There may be brothers who will hear, but from what I was told, he went in, he hauled, held his chin, thought about it, and then made a conscious and deliberate assertion of a statement he had no business making. I got him in trouble with the teacher. Remember, brothers out here selling the newspaper. Yes, sir. For a few minutes, the white man even said we had killed Kennedy. His brothers in the penitentiary. There were a lot of so-called little brothers vulnerable. Malcolm should have been thinking about the rest of his brothers.
That's right. That's right. Peace, brother.
But arrogance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That desire to have power. I'm not going to go no further into that except just to say this. Malcolm is central, as you know, in giving seat time. Now, that's the way it was all set up. Seat time for 90 days. All of us in the nation know that's like probation. You violate probation on the street, you go to the penitentiary, right? The penitentiary, in our case, is the street, the world. You can't come to the meetings. That's penitentiary. Okay? The 90 days wasn't going to be up until March. Think about this. All the writers need this out. He got his bust on the 2nd or the 3rd of December. So his 90 days was not going to be up until that corresponding time in March. Now, regardless of what your view is about that month in December, during which time he spoke evilly about his teaching, regardless of the details of that, which already is available, the point was he got sent for, came to Phoenix, Arizona, the 2nd and the 3rd of January 1964. Let the writers leave out. A few writers just recently mentioned it, and they mentioned it improperly. And by the way, that house was bugged. And the white folks had it too. And they hint some of it in their book. They came out, the FBI filed, and they leave some stuff out. But Malcolm confessed to seeing himself falling like Korah for the last 2 years, but I was unable to stop myself. It was a blessing in a sense that Malcolm messed up, because now he's being arrested and stopped. Unlike Muhammad loaded that man's money with pockets. He wasn't going to have to worry about eating. Please now, don't talk about Elijah Muhammad without knowledge. Don't talk about him ignorantly. Get acquainted with that name. Look now, please stop and think over these words. Then Malcolm's C time was turned into F time. The other 60 days wasn't going to be up until the same time, March. But now this meant he was not going to be able to make Savior's Day. Huh? And he always was the big man, introducing the big man at Savior's Day after his teaching. How come the writers leave this out? I wonder why. Why is it that they just have to put Elijah Muhammad down to build Malcolm up? It's not necessary to do that. And even in my book, I criticized a brother who spoke good, a black man, of the Elijah Muhammad, but he didn't have to make no derogatory comments about Malcolm at all. Not necessary. Because Malcolm did a good work. We say he messed up, but we can't deny the good the brother did. Follow what I'm saying? Okay, regardless of how you want to evaluate it, one thing you've got to do is evaluate Elijah Muhammad, because the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is in everybody's face, representing his teachings. He's not representing himself, he's representing his teachings. And he's putting his teacher on the mind of everybody. If it please Allah, tomorrow night we'll talk to the planet on C-SPAN around 6 o'clock tomorrow night from Washington, D.C., from the National Press Club. I'm going to end on this note. Torchlight of America epidemic. America needs help bad. She solves no problem. She's in quicksand. You know something? If you're in quicksand, not like regular water, but quicksand, you're going under and you can't get out. You can't reach nowhere to get out. Somebody throws you a life. Should you say, I don't want it from you, or you're not tall enough, black enough, this enough, or that? I don't like the color of the life raft. I don't like the speed at which you threw it. I don't like the angle at which it came. Isn't that ridiculous? Huh? Huh? Think on it now. My dear brothers and sisters, Malcolm did what he did. The rest is history, but here's something you need to look at, but I go into more detail than what I'm about to say right now. 1964, Malcolm came down on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad viciously. That's right. A few people left the Nation of Islam, but what about the masses of our ignorant people? They subconsciously were siding with Malcolm, who they deemed to be their champion, against that old small nigga in Chicago. That's right. And then the God told the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, put it in the paper, 18 to 24 months, I'm coming down with the chastisement. I ain't taking this. God told me. Go look in your Bible. The people was messed up, and God would tell Moses, I'm a killer. Moses and Aaron would get down and beg, plead, holler, scream, mercy, mercy, mercy. Now, this is getting into a big area because I can't deal with it extensively. But this thing called intercession, none intercede except by Allah's permission. Have you ever noticed when you're going to send a rocket up somewhere, you can't do it at any old time? There are what you call windows of opportunity. Huh? Whenever God sends a man to one of people, there are certain points at which, if the people don't do right by his representative, that brings them up out of that condition. Because he's coming because death is their due. Huh? By the law of God, we all should be dead. Because we're wrong. Let's not forget that. The Holy Quran says if he was to punish us for our sin, he in effect would be here by himself. So that's why men of God are raised up to give the people an opportunity. The God of mercy to that man, through that man to the people. Mercy before punishment. Now, God said, I'm going to kill these people. I'm going to put them in the chastisement. There are some of us back at that time that read the words. But when time passed and Malcolm was dead and the chastisement didn't come, some said, I knew that man wasn't right. We still here, the chastisement didn't come. Some was like that in the nation of Islam, others outside. How about that? But how many of those brothers and sisters were either in Chicago or got a hold of the tape where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that he begged and pleaded with the God. So he obeyed the God and wrote the warning. He begged the God for more time. The Holy Quran talks about 30 nights plus 10. I'm just going to tell you straight up. The 30 nights ran out in 1964-65 period of time. Remember how they said 65 and 66 brings in the fall of America? It did. You had the Vietnam situation, which reached a certain critical point. But it's something else to sit up underneath that. The people rejected God's man. He begged the God. And as a consequence, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, you're my brother, was moved here. Yes, sir. To this very strategic city. How many saw that in all of that was the outworking of a plan? By that time, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew why he needed his errand. He wasn't the same man he was in the early 30s. He told me to my face one day in 1966, he said, brother, when I first got started in this work, I felt like I could convert all of our people in 6 months. Yes, sir. He said, after a little time passed, I said, well, a year and a half. He said, if anybody had told me, look me right in my face, that I'd still be here trying to get you all in 1966, I wouldn't have believed it. He grew. Yes. And he came to see what God saw in providing him with Aaron. In this book, I point out that in the earlier years, he thought his brother Wally would be his Aaron. Then, while he died, he thought that Charlie, another brother close to him, would be his Aaron, but Charlie died. And eventually he saw the Honorable Louis Farrakhan in 1957, the first time our brother was blessed to be at the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I remember now to say, but I didn't want to forget. When he was about to leave, he said, brother, you remind me of David. Could have seized his mind and kept on. That man said to some of us, he said, when you come in my presence, I have an ear on your mouth and the other on prophecy to see where you fit. This is a plan, lesson plan book. This is how to get to heaven book. This is how to stop being a Negro and become a black man and woman book. And so is the Holy Quran. What now? You have to how to do books, how to be a carpenter, how to fix the light, how to do this. This is how to get to heaven, how to be a human being book. The Quran has qualifications the Bible don't have, but the Bible gives the picture. The Holy Quran has higher moral and spiritual teaching and corrects deficiencies in the Bible. Both books put together is how to be a good brother and sister book or books. You hear what I'm saying? Yes. But it identifies people. And the most prominent person after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in this book, not counting God, is your brother, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. I'm only bearing witness to the truth. I can prove this. If you want to argue, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready. I've been studying this for almost 40 years. So I mean, I'm capable of doing that. Because I'm not doing that right now, we don't understand. You want to eat, and so do I, don't you? You better keep doing it. See this back and forth. I see the white fog forming around the mouth of and mine too. Now listen, dear brothers and sisters, this concluding picture. Let's look at this picture as it ends, which the Bible tells us. He prayed. Did you not read in Luke chapter 22, verse 31 and 32? Jesus sitting with his disciples. I don't have time to go into it lengthily, but I'm going to give you the quick and accurate way it's written up. If you go to Greek, he's saying, Simon, Simon. He refers to Peter by Peter's slave name. He refers to Peter by Peter's lower self. He refers to Peter by something in Peter that he doesn't want. Satan has decided, you all, in Greek it's all of you, that he may, Simon, Satan desires you, especially you, that he may set all of you, that's the Greek, you all, as wheat, but I have prayed for you. Look at that. Simon, Simon, Pharakon, Pharakon. Satan desires you especially, brother, because you're my main man. You are the closest man to me in America. Like Muhammad said that to brother in his face one day. But he was second only to himself before he left. Satan desires you especially, that he may sift all of you, and that's weak. But there's the anecdote to the point. I have prayed. Have meaning I've already prayed for you. Before we sit down here talking, I'm telling you that I'm going to let Satan have you. As God let Job into the hands of Satan, I'm going to allow Satan to have you. Elijah Muhammad now has grown into much of his divinity. Well, this is deep. I can't go too far into that, but I want you to see something. I have prayed for you that when you have come back to me as a repentant disciple, then you must go out and strengthen your brothers and your sisters too. That's the paraphrase, but it's accurate. Strengthen with what? With what I'm giving you now. With what I've been giving you. But you're going to understand it better. Now, if you notice, the Master Prophet Muhammad left. He went up. He didn't. Honorable Muhammad went down in 1935. And he got up years later. And he went up in 1975. And the Honorable Farrakhan went if our brother goes up, are we going down? If we go down, then we're falling again. Huh? But the nation is never to fall again. Why? The Pope, the white Pope, who's really one of the main antichrists on the planet, gives himself a name. Pontifex Maximus. It means the bridge maker. Every prophet of God, every man of God is a bridge maker. You walk across the bridge, you get back to God. And you get back to yourself. Same thing. Okay? Now here we have our brother. They call Peter the first pope. I want you to see that. I'm trying to say a lot in a few words. Peter, first pope. Well, that's the point is this. He's a sign of the Honorable Louis Parker. That's what you say. I say that. I said in this book. I have another book coming out shortly, if I'm able to, where I go into more detail on this point. You should read this thing. I can't cover it all in this short talk. The point I'm making now is that the Honorable Louis Parker is like a bridge. You know how you build bridges like this? He's like a bridge going in one direction. Yes, sir. And when it's clicked, when he meets with his teacher, click, then we can start walking across. Follow me? Yes, sir. Hope is a bridge maker straight to heaven. Now, the Bible says that Jesus descended into hell. This Jesus figure in your Bible, part of it, I'm going to tell you straight up, refers to the Master Prophet. A thief coming in the night while men slept. There are other words, other parts of this Jesus figure. You know, most of you haven't studied that thing carefully, but you know that the scholars are beginning to recognize today that the probability is more than high that Jesus was a married man? Oh, there's something in this book about that. I know my sisters are going to read this book. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you all. If I tell you, I'll let you go buy the book. But it's in there. I talked 3 days ago with the brother who wrote the book I quoted. I put it right in there, the person who wrote it. You get this last picture, this last piece of the talking about. Never to born again. Why never to born again? What's the basis of the statement? Is it scientific or is it just wishful thinking? Is it a hope, or is it science sitting on this? If in fact the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is with Master Farad Muhammad, the other scientists and the other folks on another plane, a plane that is a half mile by a half mile in diameter. You say, well, I can't see the spiritual, but you can see the physical. Huh? The spirit is made manifest in the flesh. Don't tell me white folks can see Platoon 4,600,000,000 miles away from the sun and can't see a half mile by a half mile plane 200 miles in the sky. Don't tell me that. You know, your Empire State Building you have here, this plane, a half mile, let me tell you something, a half mile is more than 2 times the height of the Empire State Building. Woo, that's big. Take that bad boy, sit him that way, horizontal, about 60, 70, 80 stories, 90 stories thick. Set that over downtown Manhattan and watch everybody go insane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You think it's not up there? You don't know. White folks know.
Yes, sir.
You have access to their writings. White folks bear humongous, overwhelming testimony that is there. That's right. Master Farad Muhammad designed it. And its design and work is proof that he is just who he told the Honorable Muhammad he is, the Lord of the world. That's right. Let me tell you something, brother. To worship a God other than a man is to worship less than yourself. Half the population on earth, consciously or subconsciously at least, worship a man for God. That's women. Women ain't but women talk that scoop talk. But you don't look for those scoops to support you. Go ahead. I'm not playing with us, but if you look at the women, sisters, don't you want your husband to give you gifts all the time? All the time. You don't ever get tired of flowers. Buy me this, buy me that, buy me another. Surprise me with this, surprise me with that, surprise me with that. I want it all the time. Not from a scoop, but from a man. There's something in that, brother. You need to look at it. You buy a brother flowers, he doesn't get you like that out of your mind. You buy a woman flowers, she smiles and giddy and all. That tells us something that we need to check into, brothers. Right. You want peace in your house or improved home life? Buy your woman gifts all the time, all the time, all the time. Get into the deeper understanding of that in FOI. There's something so deep that it goes all the way back to the origin of woman. When she first laid eyes on any creation, it was a man, and he had to give her something. You tell her you love her and don't never give her nothing, she doubts you. You say you love God, God don't do nothing for you, you doubt him. She's that way by you. That's saying something about our collective nature. Okay, we touched that, let's move on. But it's in here, Jesus and marriage and Jesus and women, you need to check this out. Because let's get to the deep thing about God. When you tell people that Jesus possibly was romantically linked to a woman, and people say Jesus equals God, you're raising questions about God's attitude toward women, aren't you? Listen. Hail Mary, mother of who? Come on. Who is her husband? Come on. I mean, that's a hell of a statement. The mother of who? God. Who? That's out there, hey, chew it out sometimes. And then you come back, I can't put it all one shot. Brother Higgins run it down to this much more to look into. But I want to drive on to this. When the Spirit of God came down, the Jesus figure said in your Bible, if you talk about me in the word, hey, I don't like it, but it's cool. But if you reject the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit, you through. You know what through is? Not Throughga. Thu, finish, over. As a people, we rejected Master Farah Muhammad. We blew the A grade. That's right. I don't even put his picture on the book. No way to get an A grade. Only one man can get that. We rejected the Master Muhammad as a people. We blew grade B. Brother, I had him on the book smiling. A loving inviter to the truth. A man in whom there is no crookedness. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan is not a crooked man. He's following a wise man and oftentimes does wise things that we in our ignorance don't pick up on. But there is so much prophecy that has been fulfilled, and we right about at the end of this thing, you don't have an intelligent basis to reject your brother. Too much has already been written and fulfilled. If you will take time to study it. Okay now. He represents the C grade. Those of us who got the lessons, you got English lesson number C what? 1. And if when you finish the first 6 lessons, then you ask for what? Lesson number C what? 2. That's the wisdom, brother, it's destined to bring back. He ain't left yet, but you talk about coming back. This other book that I wrote, I got a path on it. The other book is called Farrakhan, God's Man on the Straight Path. I have a mountain like this. Sun, setting. I have a path. It don't go like this. It goes. It seems like it goes, but it's not. Boom. You ever heard of Moses walking with that wise man? Yes. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan is walking a path blazed by only one man before him. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Whose work among us was to raise the dead. He delivered the message, but our rejection of him and our not understanding him on one hand is an indication or a testimony to the effectiveness of the work of the devil. They killed us. However, listen to me carefully. You do see the Honorable Louis Farrakhan raising the dead. You can't deny that. That's right. You can't deny his word generates new life. Anytime a black man can go to Georgia and attract nearly 60,000 people on the same day the World Series is being played, outside the World Series, that's an indication. Not only is God's presence, but God's presence in that brother. Now, that's the Spirit of God in the man. Directing and guiding him to effectuate giving life to the dead. Now look, of all the things that human beings can do, all of us don't do everything equally. We all put a spoon to our mouth, correct? Yes. But of all the things on this earth that human beings do, some things are more difficult than other things to be done. You can't do everything equally well, nor can I, correct? That's right. Now, when you start examining what is the most difficult thing, that thing that you wind up with that's the most difficult thing to do of all the things that can be done, that thing is next to the impossible. The impossible is you get born without a mother and a father. The impossible is God can't lie. The impossible is you can't go to a graveyard and say, get up, y'all. Ain't nobody moving. So what's next to the impossible? Raising black people to life. And the fact that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is doing that tells you who he is. Yes. Go ahead. I know there are other brothers who are competing with him for the seat, but if you remember, God settled that issue by having everybody put their rod in the tabernacle. And the only rod that budded, that produced life, was the rod of Aaron, right? Yes, sir. I thank you very much for your kind attention. It's fulfilling an aspect of what is taught in your book about Jesus. Black folks are Jesus also. Jesus is Master Farad Muhammad, some parts, and parts, much of it is the Honorable Muhammad, and part falls on your brother.
That's right.
I'm writing about his Peter, Paul, and Jesus stage of development.
Yes, sir.
If you remember how the example he gives, if you are a violinist and somebody's teaching you that you master it, you're a violinist. Please, please. The Bible says we're all God, the children of the Most High God. So if a man indicates something is based on divinity, as Jesus did in the Bible, Jews got angry with him. He said, well, which good work will you stone me? They said, no, we're not stoning you for the good work. We just don't like the idea of you associating yourself too close to God.
Yes, sir.
Now, if a brother comes up, or some of us, we bear witness of what we know from a deeper study. Here's a book about Messianic prophecy. Ain't no way in the world we can go through this in an hour. You ain't gonna sit in this little bite talk about 520-some pages. I'm giving you the essence of a lifetime of study. I'm giving you bits and pieces, a little bit of it, but I want to trigger your thinking on a deeper level about who you are. The only reason we're talking about our brother's identity is because it's a basic factor in our success. The more you know who he is, the more you have confidence in the man, the more you respect him, the more you will respect what he's saying about you and what you and I must do collectively for ourselves. Talking about a man's identity is not out of vanity, it's highly practical. It has to do with the people getting their act together, getting up out of hell. Huh? If we don't have confidence in this man whom God himself has provided, there's a God who will chastise us. But that's not the only reason. It should not be the prime motivating factor, moving us toward doing the right thing. Do you love yourself? Do you love your family? Do you love your people? Don't you think it's time for us to get out of this predicament?
Yes, sir.
We can't do it on our own. We need each other. And we collectively need the rope of our lives. It's called in the Holy Quran. To get the pull-up button. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan is here as the divinely appointed leader to show us the way. That's precisely what he's doing.
That's right.
He's one man handling Jews like you ain't never seen no black man handling Jews. There's so many things that this man has done in this last 15 years that it's hard to even talk about it in a couple of words. I know I'm not the one doing it, none of us are doing it. He is, by God's grace, single-handedly whooping the Jews' backside. And then inviting them to the table to sit down and work out a more intelligent relationship between blacks and Jews. Just like it is written in How to Eat and Live, I forget, book 1 or 2, page 79. That one day, now like Muhammad said, the Jews in Palestine would blow. They're about to get killed over there. Like the white folks in South Africa, they're about to get killed dead. Yes, they're about to get killed. But the Jews over here, hey, maybe we can work out an intelligent relationship. But it's not going to be on the base of the old situation. You see this happening. I mean, doesn't this demonstrate this man is operating from some juice that's above and beyond white folks' juice?
Yes, sir.
I say juice, I'm talking about wisdom, power, insight, clever ability to handle his foes. God is among us. He's in our brother, and the Spirit is moving in all of us. And I'm saying to you that the reason the nation is never going to fall again is because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad escaped the death plot against his life. He made it. He got to his teacher. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan is just about to hit the cliff. And once he gets there, it may be rough for us as a group for a few minutes. But if white folks attack us, either outright or by using black people, in these two books, we got it from the mouth of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Don't do that, white folks. Don't use a brother against us, and don't come to yourself. If you do, we don't defend ourselves. We fight to the death. But we know we can't defeat America by ourselves, but hey, lots of times God has used what appeared to be weak. Remember what Samson did with the jawbone of an ass? But there's plenty of steel over white folks' head also. White folks will lose this country. Babylon is divided into 3 parts. Jews, Medes, and Persians got chunks. Indians not want part of America, don't they? Mexicans are getting back to part of the country I live in. They've overtaken it. And we want some turf. Come on now.
Yes, sir.
Brother, don't say you don't want to be rich. You want a brand new economic system
Right.
where you don't have to work a ridiculous amount of hours for very little pay. You want a redoing of the whole money thing. We do this thing so that we can live better. And our women don't have to work if we don't want her to work. I'm just trying to say, a new change is about to take place. There's going to be a total change in the monetary system. It ain't going to be this thing the way it is right now. Brother Felix, he had to sell crack to make a living because he no one works at McDonald's. It's about to change. America is about to lose their power. And you will hear the Honorable Farrakhan give America her last chance tomorrow night. After this speech, this is just my humble opinion. I really don't know what else you can say. I got a chance to read the book, and it's humongous. Humongous, and I don't know another way to put it. So I thank you, but I want you to understand the reason the nation's not going to fall is because there's a number of us throughout this country who are sufficiently filled with the Spirit of God. I mean, we're going nowhere.
Brothers and sisters, let's hear it for Brother Jabril. Give him a hand. This is our brother. This is our brother. All praise is due to Allah for this brother. We thank Allah so much for these inspiring words of wisdom. If we could just think about it for a minute. This humble black man came to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan with these words, and we're here because of that. So we have to say all praise is due to Allah for this man and what God blessed him to see. Isn't it beautiful what he said? The nation will never fall again. There will never be another famine. There will never be darkness again in black America because the nation represents light. It's a blessed day, brothers and sisters. Don't miss what he said. Don't miss this final opportunity to get what he calls a C grade. You know what an A is, you know what a B is, and you know what a C is. It's the last chance to pass with some dignity. Not a whole lot of dignity in a C, but at least you can hold your head up. Let's not get a D, because a D is just like an F. You failed, really. It's just giving you some reprieve. But who wants a D? Farrakhan is in our midst. Let us get the C grade. Brothers and sisters, we thank you so much for your presence this afternoon. We thank each and every one of you for coming and listening to our brother, Minister Jabril. You may be seated. We want to close the meeting in prayer, but nobody move. We want to close in prayer. But I want to ask you, how many of you are here for your first time? Never been to the mosque before? Please stand up. We want to see your face. Please remain standing. If you're here for the first or second time, remain standing. Now I know what Brother Minister said today is new. Sometimes we think it's strange. And for some of you that are here for your first time, maybe it was confusing. But did you know the first step of learning and new knowledge is confusion? When you didn't know what a 1 was, it looked strange, didn't it? When you didn't know what THE was, it looked strange. But when you found out what it represented, now it doesn't look strange anymore. When a man tells you that God is in the person of man, that sounds strange because we don't know. We have never been taught that knowledge. But didn't he tell you that it was a mystery? A veil was in front of our eyes, but now the veil is being removed. And so now we're not caught up in false ideas and concepts. We know what Jesus was saying when he said that greater works shall you do than me. When he said that we are all God's children of the Most High. That's all brother was saying. And that's you.
That's right.
And that's me.
That's right.
And that's us. And so we want to ask you, if you believe that what Brother said today was good and helpful to black people, would you please raise your hand? All praise to God. The second question is, listen good now, because I want to ask Brother if he will join me in shaking your hand in a minute. But the second question is, not will you join the nation, because you're already a member of this nation. But how many of us that are here today, after hearing this inspiring word, are willing to submit ourselves to this course of study, learn more about this word, and grow up into the identity that Brother represented to us today? If you would like to do that, would you please raise your hand? All praise is due to Allah. And so on behalf of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and on behalf of the Nation of Islam, the followers all over the country, we would like at this time to shake your hand and to welcome you home to your own. Because if the Honorable Louis Farrakhan were here, that's exactly what he would do. Brother Minister, would you shake the hands of those who have accepted this word today? Please come forth. Sisters, please come forth. Brothers, please come forth, and we will shake your hand. Let's welcome our brothers and sisters home to the truth. Brother Minister wants us to point out that as he's traveling on the East Coast, he has made several other tapes available. They will be available this afternoon by high-speed duplication. And of course, we urge you, this is believers, guests, and friends, get this book. Get this book. This is the one. We need not look for another. And read more of the identity of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from the Scripture. This message that this man brought today is not a lightweight message. It is a message that is steeped in Scripture. He has given us tremendous references to back up what we say we believe. Stop believing in a mystery God. Stop believing in a man that's 2,000 years gone, and accept that today you have a modern Jesus in your midst, and he's a black man just like you and me. You need to get this book. This is the one. We need not look for another. Come forth, sisters. Let us shake your hands. Let's give our black woman a hand. This is important. When you see the black woman getting up, you know we are coming into power. And it's not an accident that Brother Minister kept including women where he used the term men or man. Because God does not exclude women when he refers to man. He's talking about male and female. So when we talk about the divinity of man, that's you, sisters. You are the feminine attributes of God. You are God in the feminine gender. The female qualities of God are you it manifests. You got to look at yourself differently. You can't continue to reject yourself. You must begin to appreciate who and what you are. And I'm so thankful to Allah for a man like the Honorable Louis Farrakhan that's showing the respect for black women and teaching us how to respect black women so that she, once and for all, can be placed in her true position, the black woman. Thank you. Let's do our brother. But listen, as we begin to shake hands, is there something wrong? I gotta say this, and I know that when you're in a strange and new place, sometimes, wait a minute, you don't quite know how to act. This is not where we normally meet. It's a little bigger, it's a little less personal, the sound echoes a bit more, but the truth is being spoken. And no people in the condition like you and me need to sit and act lukewarm to the truth being delivered. This man spoke truth today. And believe it or not, what he said can get you and I up out of the grave. And so we should be joyous. We should be happy. And we should never think that we got something else to do, so we want to rush the truth. We are going back to nothing but being niggas if we don't accept the word that this man delivered. Wake up, black man and woman. Get up. Brother, visiting me. I'm at home. And I don't like the cool reception to the truth. What else better do you have than to see and hear the truth being spoken from a man that helps us to stand up? You want entertainment. You don't want truth. And we're not going to have Muslim niggas. You got to entertain the Muslims. You can't teach the Muslims. You help them elevate their spiritual knowledge, and they appreciate that because of the value of truth. We're not turning somersaults in here. We're not giving gimmicks. The truth is the light. You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free, not gimmicks. If what this man had enabled the Honorable Louis Farrakhan to be inspired to lift up the nation after the world rejected the nation, then you know it's an honor and a privilege for him to be in our midst. And we must demonstrate that by showing that we're thankful for what this brother has brought. I thank you, brother. And I know the true believers thank you all. And may Allah bless you. Of these black men that were awakened by this brother's beautiful message. This is the resurrection of the dead. It's not going to be physical. It's spiritual. It's mental. It's intellectual. Didn't you hear the brother say, you can't be the same after today? That's a cause for celebration. God said, let us make man. Why you want to make a man? For my glory, for my purpose. brothers and hands. We're happy. We're happy to see this. This is joy, brothers and sisters. It should be joy. Because that means there's no more business as usual. No more black men that feel powerless, but rather black men that feel empowered. That's what we need. That's all we need. To lift ourselves up from the mud of this white man's civilization. We are thankful to Allah for such a teaching today. And believe me, brothers and sisters, when I tell you that to dissect this word that was delivered today is all you need to make your condition change overnight. Overnight, we can change our condition. I hope and pray, Allah, Brother Jabril, that you know the love for you in this city. I don't know what was in the brother's mind during those dark days of 1975 and 76 and 77. I was a million miles away, physically, mentally. I didn't know what he was doing, but what he was doing in those days made it possible for us to be here today. As long as that is the case, this is the man that we must always remember in our prayers. They made mockery of him. Abbas Rasul called him a yo-yo. He's no yo-yo. And he is a brother that we love and respect. That is the truth. I thank Allah for you this afternoon. And I want to invite all the beautiful brothers that stood up to attend FOI orientation class. This class takes place every Thursday night at 7:30. Will you be here this Thursday?
Yes, sir.
How many of you filled out a card today? Please make sure you fill it out and hand it back to the brother at the end of the aisle. And then we want to correspond with you, but we want to invite you this Thursday to orientation class. That's where the process begins. That's where we begin to become the things that brother talked about today. It's a vital and necessary class to your moral, mental, and spiritual development. We look to see you this Thursday. And to all the sisters that stood up, to all of you, we want to invite you to your orientation class. And it will take place this Saturday, right here at 10 a.m. Would you please come if you stood up today? How many of you are still holding cards? You got them all. All praises due to Allah. But this is where you need to come to begin the process of learning who you are and reflecting God in your own person. So brothers and sisters, I thank you for a wonderful afternoon. And at this time, we want to close out our meeting with a few announcements. I'm so happy to see today with us Brother Coley Wallace. Would you please stand, Brother Coley Wallace? Let's give him a hand. Ended up in the book. Whether they were a disciple or just helped him with his cross, they ended up in the book. Is that right? That's right. All praises due to Allah. And we're so happy to see so many people. I want to call all of your names, but we don't have time because we have to close the meeting. But know that we will have dinner today. And we want to sit in the mosque area since we're over here. And we have more room. We set up on the other side like a cafeteria. So don't rush. Take your time. Get a dinner. Let's come and sit down and talk to each other and be brothers and sisters. I think if we look at it we actually need about this much size.
Yes, sir.
This side and that side. To do what we need to do. That means we're growing. And we're actually taking the city under your very eyes. Yes, sir. As you could have seen last night, you would know that when the wall is made, the black people in New York are beginning to respond. They've witnessed everyone else cast their rods. And they have seen those rods absolutely prove to be ineffective. Now, they know what he's saying. That the only thing, listen now, the last thing that we have to save us is this simple but profound truth being delivered by the Honorable Louis Marks. I hope you will accept it. Don't wait too late. The judgment is not to come. It's already here. But don't you get caught up in the judgment. I want to take this time to thank the believers who called my wife and myself to congratulate us on the birth of our new baby daughter. But we thank you because that demonstrates true brotherhood, true sisterhood. And that's what we are trying to inspire in the nation. We always want to celebrate the accomplishments of a believer. Is that right? Yes, sir. Like, or rather, good begets good, and negative begets negative. And when we want for our brother what we want for ourselves, then as brother said, we find what God has blessed us with, and we go into a major blessing. That's where we're all headed if we stay on this road.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, at this time, I would like to turn the meeting into the hands of our capable secretary to close us out in our announcements. And then, after he's finished, we will come back and close out in charity and prayer. So I thank you for a wonderful day. Let's give Brother Minister another warm and wonderful day. Brother Minister is from this area, but he has lived on the West Coast since the 1950s. We want him to know that he needs to travel more in this area. Because we need to know more of the insight into this brother. He's got a lot to offer, and we're willing to sit and listen. All praise to you. Go on our way. Thank you. Let's pray for it. Brother Secretary, as you listen, I come on.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, brothers and sisters, a few important announcements from Mosque number 7 to give to you the news and some more information that will help us in what we have to do in the coming days, okay? First, we have a special announcement. We announced last Sunday for the first time, and we want to remind you that we are starting this coming Saturday, May the 8th, our Assistant Minister, Eugenie X, will be teaching a class in Arabic, an Arabic class. So those of us who learn how to read the Quran and to speak in the Arabic tongue. And that's at Saturday at 1:30 p.m. here at Mosque number 7, right next door, Saturday at 1:30 p.m. We also want to remind you, if you're in the different boroughs, on Wednesday nights we have study groups in the different boroughs. In Brooklyn, we're at the Fort Greene Senior Citizen Center. That's 966 Fulton Street, for those in Brooklyn. If you're in Queens, we meet at the Lebanon Temple on 10751 Guyborough Boulevard on Wednesday night at 7:30. And of course, here in Harlem and in the Bronx, we meet here at Mosque number 7, every Wednesday night at 7:30. Also on Thursdays, we meet in Westchester at the Bereshit Community Center on South Fifth Avenue, Thursday night at 7:30. We also meet in Staten Island at PS 18 on Broadway at Henderson Avenue in Staten Island. All right? So we will see you there Wednesday night. Also, we want to remind you that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan will be appearing on cable television on Channel 34 on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. and Thursday mornings at 10:30 in a series entitled Farrakhan, Our Champion. Also, brothers and sisters, we want to remind you that next Sunday, our beloved local minister, the New York representative of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, Minister Conrad Muhammad, will be delivering a special Mother's Day address next Sunday here at Mosque number 7. All praise is due to Allah. So we look forward to that. Bring out your mothers, bring out your daughters, your sisters, bring out your husbands, your brothers, your sons. You won't want to miss that message next Sunday here at Mosque number 7. Also, we want to announce that the week after that, on May the 16th, Minister Khalid Abdul Muhammad will be our guest speaker here at Mosque number 7. So you want to be at Mosque number 7 in the month of May. Brothers and sisters, we want to remind those of you who are traveling to Ghana, 1994, that we have a deadline of May 15th for the deposit for the trip. The deposit is $200, and you have a payment plan thereafter. If you need any more information on that, you can get it from the Secretary's Department. But the deadline for the deposit is May the 15th. Also, brothers and sisters, we want to remind you, along with the dinner that will be on sale in the mosque after the meeting, we have the publications of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We have the publications of the Nation of Islam. And we also have, of course, This Is the One, written by our brother Jabril Muhammad, which will be available after the lecture. In fact, Brother Jabril will be signing your autographing copies of This Is the One right after the lecture. So you want to get your book signed today. Is that right? Yes, sir. Also, we have the most recent lectures of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan available right after the lecture inside the lobby area as you leave the auditorium. Brothers and sisters, we want to tell you that the dinner menu is baked chicken or fried whiting, buttered broccoli with red peppers, yellow rice, and cucumber salad, all for only $6 in the mosque. Also, they have the famous Muslim bean pies available as well. Sisters, the MDT Squad A of Mosque number 7 invites you to a day of beauty, elegance, and relaxation for the black woman. Featured are lectures having to do with health. I have a whole list here that is being sponsored by the MDT. I won't go through it, but it's a day which is featuring speakers. We have our sister Captain Counselor Amina Rasul Muhammad speaking on the importance of water. We have Sister Captain Kramer speaking on the Dr. Tory program. We have Sister Shanita X speaking on herbs and your health. We have Sister Yvette Tuek speaking on hair care. And we have a fashion show sponsored by the Vanguard class. That's next Saturday, May the 8th, from 4 o'clock p.m. to 8 p.m. here at Mosque number 7, so you won't want to miss that. Also, brothers and sisters, we want to tell you that a copy of today's lecture will be available right after the lecture. It's being high street duplicated and will be available in the lobby right after the lecture. Finally, we want to announce to you, May the 17th and May the 18th, we have a special celebration in Chicago. Our leader, teaching guide, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, is celebrating his 60th birthday with a concert. Those of you may not have known before this, but you found out recently that our leader is a multi-talented individual. And he will be playing the violin in concert with Mr. Michael Morgan and the New World Orchestra. That's Monday, May the 17th at 7 p.m. For ticket information, contact the Secretary's Department here, or you can call the University of Islam in Chicago at 312-643-0700. All right?
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of news, but it's all good for you.
Yes,
So take it, and I thank you for listening. Now I'll turn the meeting back over to our beloved minister, Minister Conrad Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Brothers and sisters, we know the hour is late, and we want to conclude our meeting. But I just want to say that, when you grow in knowledge, when you truly grow in knowledge, you can't eat the same food that you've been eating. At a certain point, you reach the point of diminishing returns. You've got to go up. You've got to grow up. You've got to expand what you're taking in order to keep receiving benefits. Do you understand what I'm saying? Most Negroes don't think beyond the bills. Don't think beyond the daily, mundane, little things of this world's life. How am I going to pay the electric bill? How am I going to pay the gas bill? I wonder if the subway is going to be on time when I leave here tonight. What's coming on TV later? But in this house, we are attempting to grow into God. And in order to grow into God, we've got to discuss and contemplate things that the average Negro doesn't even dream of thinking about. And so what Brother brought today and what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is giving to us, it is a revelation just for us to even entertain the questions that are being raised, much less to come up with the answers. And so sit back whenever you hear truth and don't have a shallow mentality, but actually try and take it in and ponder it, because it means more to you than you think it means. If you would relax and let go, you would see the relevancy to the truth when it's being delivered. I hope you understand. Yes, sir. I don't want to teach another subject, but I will. In order that what this brother said not quote unquote go past us, because it was heavy and deep. It was right on time to help us to see what we have the power to do. And now you should understand better what is meant when it says God came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. God come in the person, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. What about God in the person of you? What about God who comes in the person of you? It's all possible if you can conceive and believe. You can achieve. Usually, I don't like to take the offering, especially after such critical words toward the end. But I know you're good people, and you love the truth, and you love this mission. And you can look past me and what I offered in the way of correction to the bigger picture. And that's freedom, justice, and equality for 40 million black people. See, we must put Islam and the cause of Islam above all personality. And so it's irrelevant, the person. We're looking toward the mission. And so now let us begin to take up an offering for our leader and teacher to give him in order to help him in this mission. Whatever you give today will go directly to him. Not to me, not to Brother Jabril, but to him. He loves you and you know it. He works for you and you know it. Now let's give him something to work for us. Who would like to start it out with a donation to show their love for the work of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan? Brother said we don't worship the personality. And brother and sister, that's right. Because we are all flesh and blood. But the principles that are in the man, the wisdom, the truth, the knowledge that is in him, is that which is worthy of worship, because it represents our salvation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So let us take out hundreds. Let us take out 50s. How much do we want to raise today? Well, what do you think a man of God is worthy of receiving on a Sunday afternoon in New York? Should we send him $250 and say, here, dear Holy Apostle, we love you? Or should we send him $250,000? Well, it's probably not $250,000 in here. Even if you pawn all the jewelry and diamonds and gold, we don't have that much. But how much is in our hearts? love do we have for him? Then I think we should give that which corresponds to our love. And if you have 100, give 100. If you have 50, give 50. If you have 1,000, somebody start us off this afternoon with a $1,000 donation, showing that you love the work that we're doing. If you love the work, back the work, because the white man is not going to back it. If you love the man, back the man, because the white man is putting stones of stumbling in his path. We have to remove those stones, and we have to ensure that that man never goes to the bank and sticks his card into the bank machine and it says, sorry, Minister Farrakhan, insufficient funds. I would like to start out by giving $100. Is there anyone that will help match this effort? Thank you, my brother. Please stand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Who else would like? Yes, sir, my brother. Please stand. Thank you. Allahu Akbar. Thank you. Thank you. How much should we give him, brothers and sisters? Should we give him $75? Do you think that's an adequate figure? What about 300 or 400? Is that sufficient? Well, let's keep on thinking and keep on giving until we've given sufficient. Who else has $100? And I hope, thank you, my brother, please, let's give our brother a hand. I hope that most of you will not be offended by our words, because we're only speaking to a few. The majority know the truth, love the truth, and are willing to die for the truth. But we are trying to speak to those that are mixed in amongst the righteous, who don't have the best of spirit. How do we know? Your face is an indication of that. How do we know? As brother said, you don't have to say anything. We just know where you're coming from, because we're all up into your spirit. I pray, Allah, for you, that you will not prevent yourself from your own salvation, and that you get a quickening of the spirit, and that you become an empty vessel so that God's spirit can come into you. Brother, cast it forth. Can we receive it? I hope so. I thank Allah. Brother Coley Wallace, thank you. Thank you. $100. Brother, he keeps on giving. This is the man that befriended our leader and teacher when he had nothing. But that man that he helped that had nothing would ultimately become something. And we cannot forget a man like Coley Wallace that wasn't looking for anything in return, but just wanted to do good. We thank you, brother. He accepted Islam last week. And as Brother Minister said, it's never too late. You're never too old to make a change. You're never too old to change your life for the better. Even to your dying day, remember, as long as there's life, there is hope. Who else has $100 that they would like to give? Someone, surely someone. I see in the audience a dear friend of mine, Brother William Millett. Will you please stand? This brother is the son of one of the Muslim pioneers that unfortunately passed away last week. Many did not know about his father's passing, and if the world, or at least New York, had known, the place would have been filled to capacity. Brother Willie D.X., many of you know him, the brother of Sister Lana Shabazz, an early pioneer and soldier in the work of the Nation of Islam in New York. He passed away, but this is his son, Brother William X. Millett. We're happy to see him. Who else would like to give? We want to give everybody a chance to get. I don't think we'll meet in this room anymore. Because there's something about this room. It's too gloomy. You know? You agree with that? But that's all right. Because we have the Spirit. So it doesn't matter where we are. We like the Hebrew boys. It doesn't matter where you are. It matters what's in your heart and in your mind. And I think the Spirit of God is in you, so we don't worry about the place. Let's overcome the place with our spirit. Who else would like to give and sacrifice to see a man that's doing good for black people successful so that we can benefit? Please raise